little rusty. It's been, what, 2 weeks? Yeah. Today, we are looking at channels. We are giving YouTube tips and answering your YouTube questions, and we're starting right now. What is going on? My name is Nick. Welcome to another video. If this is your first time here and you want to learn how to grow your channel, make videos, and all types of other YouTube-related stuff, start now by subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. Today, I am joined by my brother from the same mother, the magnificent, the favorite, the crowd favorite, the crowd favorite, D. Nimmin. D, how are you?
Man, I'm fantastic. I'm so glad to be back. There was a 2-week hiatus.
Yes.
But I am joined today by the Grand Poobah, the exalted Grand Poobah.
Yes, the big
of YouTube,
the big daddy of YouTube.
That's right.
Today we have a very special guest for you. You've watched his channel. You've gotten tips from him. He's taught you how to do YouTube. He's taught all of us.
That's right.
How to do YouTube.
Yes.
Today we are joined by none other than the wonderful. How much longer can we take this?
We're gonna milk this.
Yeah, the wonderful, the magnificent Derral Eves. Derral, how are you?
Doing really good. How you guys doing?
Fantastic, Derral. It is awesome to have you on here today. You're coming in here from Utah today, right?
Utah of all places.
Fantastic. A lot of good stuff comes out of Utah. You know what a lot of people don't know is that there's a humongous YouTube community. Like, you guys are holding it down.
Oh, yeah.
In Utah. Some humongous channels are coming.
Crazy. Like, it's super crazy because what happened is you know, a lot of people think, oh, LA, California, or whatever. And LA is the #1 YouTube most subscribed area where people do that. But #2 is Utah. So pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, that is absolutely pretty crazy. So Derral, as you know, man, like on Nimmin Live here every Saturday, we like to answer YouTube questions. We like to give tips to people, give them some advice on what it is that they can do to do YouTube better. So one thing that I want to ask you in the chat right now is, while you're watching this, if you have any questions for Derral, make sure that you go ahead and drop them in the chat right now, because right now is your chance to ask Derral Eves what it is that you want to know about YouTube, and any questions that you have about what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're trying to accomplish here on YouTube. But in the meantime, Derral, what kind of tips do you have? Do you have like just a couple of tips? Let's go ahead and get this whole thing started. I know you've got a big, humongous book of tips. Let's go ahead and start with one thing for people to focus on. Like, if let's say somebody's just starting out on YouTube, right? Because I have a lot of people that watch my channel that that are just getting started on the platform. For people that are just getting rolling here on YouTube, what's something like that very first thing that you really want people to focus on?
I think the first thing is they need to subscribe to your channel to get the information they need. And
that's what I'm talking about.
Notification, right? That's it.
I concur. I concur.
Do that, you're good. You're gonna get a gold play button. There you go.
Yeah, that's the kind of information that I like to hear right there. Like, that's one of the best tips I've heard, actually, ever. Yeah, that was.
Well, hey. I take my own tips. I'm a subscriber. I have that bell notification on, so no, it's great. It's great.
Oh, that's awesome.
But in all seriousness, it's like, at the end of the day, I do a lot of consulting for a lot of big brands and big YouTubers, and a lot of people don't know this about me, but they just see me on my own YouTube channel that I spend maybe 20 minutes a week, if I have that 20 minutes a week. But ultimately, I own other channels that we manage and own, and then we work with other creators. And we've helped 21 channels start from nothing at over 1 million subscribers. And at the end of the day, it's not about your title optimization. It's not about your playlist strategies. It's not about your posting strategies. At the end of the day, it's about your content. And I can tell you this right now. It doesn't matter how big you are, how small you are. If you put out great content, then that's what's going to be promoted on YouTube. And at the end of the day, when I do these consultings, with these brands, YouTube creators, it's just like your content needs to improve. And we have the indicators to be looking at the content in a unique way, a unique lens, to know what needs to change. And that's where I go in. Now, I know a lot of you would definitely just say, oh, my videos are great, but video isn't just content. I want to kind of explain what I view as content so that you're able to really understand the importance of every element when you're dealing with content. So the first piece of content is not the video, Nick. Did you know that? It's not the video. When I talk about content, it's not the video at all.
I'm thinking that you're going to lead right into the thumbnail because that's the first thing that people see. Am I incorrect?
No, actually, I'm not.
Oh, let me have it. Let me have it.
Yeah, lay it on us.
Yeah.
All right.
This is why
So
you're the
first piece of
poobah.
content
That's right.
is your title. The first piece of content is your title, and I can tell you right now, title is everything. The weight of where you put your keyword, the weight that you're associating it just really depends. It's just like that title is super important, and I view that as content. Give you an example. I'm getting ready to release a video that we put a lot of effort, energy, and time into, which we'd call a hero video. We're right now spending money on Facebook testing a title.
Wow.
Just the title.
Wow.
Nice.
And why? We want to see which one actually gets a higher click-through rate. Which
There you
one's
go.
more appealing organically? Because that's the beginning of your content. When people are scrolling down the feed or flipping down the feed or whatever it may be, that's the first thing that they see is your thumbnail your title and your thumbnail. So the next piece of content is your thumbnail. And so that right there is so key. And I'm here to tell you, I've had the biggest YouTubers says, well, I got all the success, but my channel's dying. Come help me. And I'm like, your content sucks.
There you go.
So let's start where your content sucks. Your titling structure and your thumbnail. Let's go ahead and fix that. And so, lo and behold, amazingly, they're able to get higher click-through rates. And when you get higher click-through rates, it's sending these indicators to YouTube saying, hey, because this video needs to be promoted more because the impression versus click-through rate is going through the charts. And so that right there is the beginning of your content. Now, I do a lot of paid advertising. You probably have seen some of the ad campaigns out there in the world that was actually, we're kind of the masterminds behind it. You don't even know that I am. I don't push it that way. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we spend a lot of money trying to figure out what is the right thumbnail and the right title that people will actually click on. And we spend thousands of dollars trying to just define that. I mean, we had a campaign where, we had 136 variations of a thumbnail to see which one converted the most.
Wow.
And this is the interesting thing. When we actually ran the campaign, if we went off our first initial thought of what the thumbnail needed to be, we would have made 100 times less than we would have made before. It's just crazy. And so, it's just getting that traffic, getting that beginning of the cycle to come in. And so at the end of the day, content is king, and that you start with that title, you start with that thumbnail, and then the next thing is your hook. Now that hook is literally so important, because when somebody actually says, oh, I'm interested in this thumbnail, I'm interested in this title, what happens, Nick? They click on it, right?
Yeah.
And they go to watch the video, and if it's literally disconnected from that title and that thumbnail, then it's like, what did I click on? Is this clickbait?
Right. Is this even the right place? Am I even in the right place? Right.
Hey, Derral, I have a question.
Exactly. It's so.
Yeah, I have a question for you. How many seconds do people have to give them that hook before they click out?
Well, that's a great question. So I there's a couple things that I spent a lot of time and energy on, is like understanding human behavior. Understanding human behavior is so important, especially when it's online and digitally done. Netflix had a report of how fast, they spent hundreds of millions of dollars on this report for getting people to click and what sucks them into the programming. And I got my hands on that report, and what was amazing from it is how fast we as humans process things. And so at a glance, we're already moving on. It's just milliseconds. Because we can process it very, very quickly. And if we this grabs my eye and attention, it starts to suck in. So to answer your question, if you hook them, if you can get past that 5 seconds, 3 to 5 second mark where they're pulled into the story, you now have about 30 seconds to get them re-engaged with your content to stick. And so at the end of the day, I can guarantee you, anyone that's watching this right now can go into their analytics, and some of you are going to see the hockey stick effect. That means they come on, start watching a video, and then it just drops. and it's right around that 20-second, 30-second mark where it just tanks. And that right there is really explaining to the content creator that their content is misleading and it needs to be in harmony with what is actually advertised. And so you might do a great job on the title, you might do a great job on the thumbnail, you might do a great job on that hook, but then literally the next thing that you're actually doing, which is your intro / re-engagement, is where your disconnection is for your content. And that's why it's like literally dropping down. And at the end of the day, I can tell you, I have all these creators reaching out to me and says, oh man, YouTube just hates me. They don't like my stuff. And I'm like, probably true. Let's take a look at your analytics. Well, yep, that is true because your content isn't really performing to the audience that you think that you're actually performing to. And that's kind of the big deal. And so I think we talked about the title, we talked about the thumbnail, we talked about the hook. That is content. And then it's actually the content. So actually the video itself. And I view that as content. And I also view the CTA as content. Those are pieces for it. The only other thing outside of the video itself that I would view as content is your description. Now, a lot of people are thinking, oh, you know, description doesn't mean anything, but I'm here to tell you it does. It's like, it means so much because that's content that can sell, that content that can engage someone a little bit deeper into your other videos that you actually have. And that's where it's actually key for this. And so that's probably the best tip that I can give you is like really focus in on the content and know the indicators, because we now have all the indicators. I can tell you, the thing that I'm like thanking YouTube for was that impression to click-through rate. I mean, I've been asking it for years because we're just guessing, but we don't have to guess anymore. We can literally say, oh no, this is an underperforming thumbnail. We need to change that out. Or this is an underperforming title. We need to change that out. And so we can start figuring things out where it's a lot more impactful.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So basically,
and that's
like in
why
a nutshell,
he is the grand poobah.
I know, right?
Right.
So basically, like what you're saying there in a nutshell is you're basically saying, you know, like consider the user flow. Like when somebody's looking around YouTube, like what's the process that they're taking? They're looking at titles, they're looking at thumbnails. When they click on that, what happens? What's going on in their brain through, you know, each individual portion of your content? And basically, you want to make that entire experience from the second that they are exposed to either your title or your thumbnail all the way through to the end of your video and hopefully into the next video. You want to consider that experience all the way through. Am I understanding that correctly?
Well, that's 100% because you're thinking, oh, I'm going to give you a YouTube hack. Well, YouTube hacks last about this long. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
At the end of the day, the best hack that you could ever do is make better content. And that's why, you know, that's why I go in and it seems ridiculous, but you know, some of these big creators, you know, they were used to getting a ton of views, and then it starts to literally drop because the AI, all they care about is user behavior. They want to know, they want to predict what's best for each specific person that comes onto YouTube, and we want to serve them what they're actually interested in. So if you have content creator A that has, a high click-through rate, but low average view duration, and another one that has a high click-through rate, the same high click-through rate, the same type of niche, the same type of length of the video, and their average view duration is like 20% higher. What normally would YouTube do? Well, if 20% of the people, 20% more of the people start this video at the end of this video, I'm gonna like as an AI, that's the video I'm gonna promote because it's gonna accomplish what my goal is to get people to watch more and more and more content. And if I can just say, look, video A is 20% less. This is 20% more. It's a no-brainer to do 20% more. And so at the end of the day, that's what I go in and help them really understand is, okay, here's the indicators that you need to look at. Here's the things that you're adjusting. And here's the thing. But I don't tell them, oh, you need to engage your audience more. What I say, though, is you need to understand who your audience is. And I can tell you this right now. We've had this conversation before, but your growth on YouTube was because you understand who your audience is.
Yeah.
And you're providing content that is valuable for them. And a lot of creators just miss out. They just create content that they want to create, and they don't have someone that they're actually creating it for. but I can guarantee you every person that I work with and we've seen success, all the 21 channels that started from nothing and get over 1 million subscribers each, every single one of them, we know exactly who the audience is, and we know how we want to get in their brain and try to figure out what's going to be the most interactive videos that we can make with them, the best type of thumbnails, the best type of titles that will really engage them, hooks that will really pull it out, and it goes from there. And what's crazy is some of these bigger YouTubers, like What's Inside. I love What's Inside. I love Dan. Dan Markham's like one of the smartest people on YouTube, that, you know, by far. And he can tell. He goes, oh, this video is gonna bomb. And I'm like, Dan, how do you know these things? He goes, I know my audience. I know what they want.
Nice.
This is not giving what they want. And we tried, but every once in a while you're gonna get a stinker, and that's what's gonna happen. And that's what, you know, he knows so well, his audience and what they're craving. And that's what you need to do as a creator, is like, you got to figure out who you're making content for, and then you're actually providing that content that really will engage them and take them to a level that you haven't seen.
Fantastic. And for new people on the platform, like if you are just coming onto YouTube right now and you're listening to this and you're thinking like, you know, what does it even mean by audience? Like, what does all this stuff even mean? Like one way to think of it, and I've seen Derral phrase it this way as well, and this is a reference that I like to give people, is one way to think of it is think of that like one person. Like if there's one person that you're making content for, like think of them. Think of that one person, you know, what is it that they're into? What do they like? What do they respond to? Like what would they expect if they were to watch your type of content? What is it that they would expect from your type of content, and what is it that you can do to make them respond to that type of content? You don't necessarily have to think of it as in terms of like a humongous demographic. Just try to think of that one person that you're trying to reach, and then think, okay, well, I'm going to make sure that I reach this one person in an excellent way, so that hopefully the AI will pass me on to more users just like that person. Is that a decent way to think of it, Derral?
Yeah, that's the perfect assessment of that. And I think what I want to show you here is kind of to take this point even further, because this is what people really need to understand, is you're going to have things that really excite you as a channel, as a creator, as a brand, and the more that you can define who you are, is easier to define who will watch your content. And basically, this is like really having valuable content. This is something that we've seen time and time again, is understanding who you are and what you stand for, and also looking at your audience out there to try to figure out who they are and what they stand for. And there is a crossover. There literally is a crossover where the audience and the brand or the creator or the business is going over. You have that little sweet spot right here, and that sweet spot is the type of content that you actually need to make. And that right there, I can tell you, when you know what your audience really wants, and it coincides with what your brand really is, then you're able to cross it over. So I was actually doing a consultation, and this attorney was trying to put videos on YouTube. How boring is having an attorney put YouTube videos up, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
Well, I mean, boring for me. But here's the thing: was he actually did an experiment. He goes, you know what? I'm actually going to react to TV lawyers, and it was 2 months ago when he did that, and it was his #1 most viewed video of this whole channel.
Nice.
Like his whole channel got almost 1 million views in 2 months.
Wow.
And he's like, what do I do with this? So he reached out to me and says, hey, you know, I'm doing all this content. What do I do? What do I need to do to make it happen again and make it rain these YouTube subscriptions and the views? And I'm like,
Making
at
it
the
rain.
end of the
Make it
day,
rain.
it comes back down to this.
Yeah, nice.
Knowing what your audience really wants and cares for, and then providing that content from there. So guess what he did next? He released another video that was very specific on lawyers reacts, real lawyers reacts to TV lawyers or film lawyers. And guess what happened? His channel literally exploded.
Wow.
Nice. So Derral, I want to get into, if you're cool with this, I want to get into a few questions. I've had a few questions come in, and I would love to address them if you would be cool with that.
Absolutely.
The first one is from Brayoni Faith. She says, "Can we please ask Derral about updating thumbnails on older ones? I saw his video on this, but does it affect metadata?" So basically, she's asking if she updates her thumbnail, is that going to affect anything negatively on her channel, or is it going to affect the actual metadata on her channel? So I think there's some definitions that need to take place on this one also.
Yeah. So metadata from YouTube's perspective is the title, the description, the tags, and the closed caption. That's the metadata the thumbnail is not metadata. The thumbnail is not even considered that. So when you update your metadata, yes, that can affect your ranking for a period of time. It will literally drop out of ranking and then reevaluate your video. But changing that thumbnail will not. The strategy that we've been doing, and I'm going to really go in depth. I put on a conference every year at Vid Summit. It's coming up next month, but my whole presentation is showing how all we did is go on older videos that YouTube love now, is the older content, the evergreen content, and just change the thumbnail. And we see explosions of growth because it brings a higher click-through rate percentage. If you can get a higher click-through rate percentage on a good average view duration video, and it's different per, different niches and stuff like that. But if you can literally do that, that sends some indicators to YouTube, says, oh, wait a minute, people are now liking this more. They're seeing the same thumbnail, or they're seeing the same video, and they're actually clicking on it more. Let's kind of put that and suggest that out to more people to see. And that's where you can see some massive growth.
Nice. And with that, because you were talking about Vid Summit, with that, you actually, I know every year you kind of, hold on to a bunch of data that you release, the information about at Vid Summit. So you got a bunch of awesome stuff, I'm sure, that you're going to be releasing this year at Vid Summit. I'm so looking forward to it.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, so
I'm
looking
fired
forward
up. Like I want to go now. Like I
know,
want to pack my bags.
Come on, October.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
Yeah. Likewise.
Normally, I'm like fighting time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh man, everything's going so fast.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, Vid Summit.
Come on, hurry up. I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh,
yeah.
good stuff.
And the thing about it is, you're right. I do hold back in the sense of, like, I present at VidCon and all these other places from there, and I usually give not older data, but like data that I'm moving on to the next strategy because I've already defined that. But this year at Vid Summit, I've been literally working on a strategy for over a year, and we've just seen amazing results. And I'm going to share it with the whole world there. Well, let me take that back. I'm only sharing with the people that are coming to the Vid Summit and getting the replays. But yeah, with
the whole room and then the remote viewers. So a little bit less than the world, but still a lot of people. So another question that I have is from Chase and Cole Adventures. They say, assuming audience retention is 50%. Is it better to do daily uploads, or with the new algorithm changes, is it better to do less videos per week and focus on longer videos while maintaining 50% retention?
Okay. Let me just be very blunt and don't. I'm not being critical.
Bring it.
Critical. I just got to say it the way that I see it.
Bring it, Derral.
50% is not adequate. 50%, that's not adequate.
Say, what was the question?
If basically
I said 50% is not adequate.
Yeah, 50% on the audience retention is not enough.
It's not enough.
Is what he's saying.
Yeah.
So
not enough for what?
He's just saying not adequate.
You're looking at it. If you're just satisfied with 50%, then there's an issue as a content creator. And I understand the other dynamics. Like, you need to be in the 60, 70% mark to really have massive growth on YouTube.
Massive growth. Okay.
50% is great, and you'll get suggested. But if you want massive growth and massive suggestion, if the AI says, look, this video only has 50% of the people that start the video that finish the video, but this one has 62.6%. Which one is it they're going to promote?
Right.
And so that's what you got to look at. And some of these niches, I'm telling you, like I've done some consults with some of the biggest channels ever, and they're like 70 to 80% audience retention.
Nice.
Like, how do you compete with that? Well, you compete with yourself, number one, and you're like, I'm not satisfied with 50%. I'm going to put out more better content that will engage. And so that being said, I like the way that the AI is like right now, it's and this is a presentation I did at VidCon, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's like they're suggesting more and more to new people after the 28 days. You're going to see more and more suggestions that happen there instead of having it through the first 7 days that it was the previous year. And that gives you the ability to put out less content and still have the same effect on good videos.
Fantastic. And that actually kind of leads us into the next question from Nightmare Files. And they said, and I just want to give a shout out to Dane Golden, who's in the house.
Hey, Dane, how's it
hopped
going?
in here. But they asked, when I upload, I receive a good rush of views, but then it slows down after a few hours. What can I do to continue to get those views and interactions?
So you got to understand what's going on. So when you upload a video, the first people that actually are seeing your content, that anyone that hit that bell notification and are subscribed, so you have that subscriber feed, I can guarantee you after about 48 hours, you can go back and look at that data, and your number one traffic source isn't suggested video. It's literally your feed. And that's what I'm explaining is, to have more people do it, you got to just get more people wanting to hit that bell notification to be notified. So if you have 10,000 subscribers, let's use that for example, and you only have 100 people that have that bell notification, well, you have a probability of only a percentage of those 100 people coming to your video when you're uploading. So you have this little influx. But if you want more, it's getting people to be notified. One tactic that we use is really turning on other mediums to notifications, because YouTube is unreliable when it comes to notifying your subscribers. And so the more that you can suck the email address and the literally the cell phone number out of these people, you can trigger it where you can get more people coming quicker. And then that can get suggested more to more of your subscribers, because the way that YouTube looks is like, they don't even send it out to all your subscribers, but they will if it has momentum. It's a good video that you have a higher percentage of people that are actually subscribed that not only click on it, but watch through the end of the video.
D, we need to get on the phone notifications.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get on that one. Make a note. Yeah, we got to get on that one.
When he said getting their number, I was like, huh.
Yeah, we got to get on the phone notifications. Got another one for you here, Derral, from ABCU.
I just want to apologize to everyone who I'm about to call who's watching in the future, because it's about to get weird.
Call them.
I'm about to get weird.
Oh, great. It's D calling me again. He must have just uploaded a video.
It's like, okay.
I'm sleeping, man.
You don't
Come on.
like these solicitors. Watch my video. I get it. You got to be, it's just your hardcore people. So.
The next one is from ABCU. They want to know how to grow an educational kids YouTube channel. They say kids aren't the ones typing in the SEO, and the YouTube Kids app is hard to get into.
Look, at the end of the day,
I love real quick. I just want to say I love how you
disagree
start.
Yeah,
I love how you start your answers. You're like, okay, first thing I got to cover, and then you're like, okay, look. And
yeah,
I love how you start these. This is awesome.
Yeah, because you know where it's going.
Yeah, I know. You know where it's going. I know. Yeah.
I watch kids, and you can't tell me they don't know how to type. I don't care if they're 2 or 3, dude. They're pulling that in. It's brilliant. Yeah, they might know how to spell correctly, but they can. But really, it's more about the relationship of videos. And so, they might have one that they go to. Let's just say, good educational video channel on YouTube would be Blippi. He's like all over the place, right? And so he has SEO. He's targeted. He has a whole bunch of subscribers that people engage with him. I think he gets like 120 million views a month or something like that. It's something ridiculous. But at the end of the day, there are all the videos being suggested, and how YouTube says, oh, this is related content is king. But I'm here to tell you, and this is by a really good understanding of your niche, YouTube Kids app's not where you're going to get the most of the views. I know that most creators think, oh, only if I get in the YouTube Kids app that it's going to be these amazing views. The CPMs suck, number one. and number two, it's not the massive amount of views that you think you're going to actually get. And ultimately what's happening is, and this is where a lot of misinformation is, it's like parents just hand the kid the iPad, not, oh, click on the YouTube Kids app to watch YouTube. They're just going to YouTube specifically, finding them a video, and then just that's their babysitter for the next couple hours.
Nice. Now I have tons of gamers that watch my channel. A lot of gamers probably in the stream right now. And gamers, as you know, because it's so saturated, gamers have like a difficult time, especially when they're first starting out. Just in terms of like knowing, hey, what should I do? I just want to play video games. So what kind of recommendation or what kind of tip do you have for the gamer that's coming onto YouTube and they're like, hey, I'm putting out all these videos, but I'm not getting like a great response on them. What kind of advice would you give to some of the gamers?
So gaming's a little bit more difficult. I don't know if my set. I don't think anyone realizes that I'm a gamer too. Old school gamer and a new school gamer. I was just getting clobbered last night on Fortnite. But anyway, I think the big thing is really understanding it's a very difficult in each niche. You have your difficult challenges, and generally gamers watch other gamers and they want to stream themselves, and that's where there is some challenge of really pulling people in. I can tell you this with the gamers. So one of the goals that I had was to get a gold play button in every vertical, and the one that we did for gaming, I can tell you right now, it wasn't until we really focused in on the creator and not the game that's when the channel started to explode. So I mean, imagine watching Ninja without Ninja, and yeah, amazing gameplay, but it's the personality, not the gameplay.
So
I don't
you're
think
saying you need to step up your personality game.
It's gameplay. It's
Right.
gameplay. Absolutely not. It's the personality intertwined with the gameplay.
It's who's playing the game and not the game itself.
That's right.
Okay.
Nice. So you're saying, so in a nutshell, you're saying that if you're having a hard time, you need to step up your personality game and try to make yourself maybe a little bit more engaging or a little bit more relatable, maybe to your audience.
Well, absolutely. Like, who are they playing the game for? At the end of the day, it's that key viewer. Let me give you a very, very specific case. Like, really understanding, viewing avatars, and what an avatar is like one person or a group of people that are similar. That's how you build tribes and cultures and stuff like that, is really understanding what makes them tick and what they engage with, what they find funny, what they don't find funny, what type of movies they like. I mean, outright down to the smallest detail. And ultimately, when you are doing a video or even putting on a conference like I do, it's like you're really trying to figure out who's that one person that you want to engage. So let me like, this is really, this is probably the most important thing that I've seen every YouTuber that's really successful really understand, is who's actually watching their video. And who's actually subscribing, and they understand a little bit of who they are. And as they gather more information, that's when they're able to put out better content for them. But let me give you a very specific case in point is, and you've gone to, Nick, you and Dee have gone to a ton of conferences out there. But when I put on the Vid Summit, do you know who my one person that I'm going to make sure just loves the conference 100% of the time? Can you guess who that is?
Yeah, it's people that are wanting to be full-time on YouTube, people that are actually wanting to make it something that is like, they are wanting to be a video person. Like, that's what they're wanting to do. They're wanting to take this into something that isn't just a hobby. It's not something like that. They're actually wanting to turn this into something that can be a part of their life, so to speak, and something that they can earn money from and actually be like a real part of, instead of it just being a hobby.
Were you gonna?
Yeah, and that's where a lot of people say, "Oh, okay, that's your one person." Dee, were you gonna say something on that?
No, I was gonna say, was it an actual person?
Oh yeah, he makes it all for this guy named Greg.
Yeah, that's what I was
Greg
waiting.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something? I do.
Boom,
There's one
booyah.
person, one person that is the Vid Summit attendee, and if I can make him happy, then everyone else that's similar to him will be happy. And guess who that one person is?
You.
Me.
Yep, nailed it.
I am the viewer.
There you go,
Yep.
one
I am
person.
literally the viewer.
Yeah,
I
nice.
dropped
And
the
I'm
mic.
telling you, like, I know what makes me tick. I know what I hate. I know what I like. I know what really gets me excited about things. I know the energy, the level. And so when I put on an event, it's like, if I can say this is an event that I would just love to be at, then I know there are more people like you guys. So I mean, the first time that you came to the Bid Summit, Nick, the first experience, you didn't know what to expect. You've heard about it, but it's a different event. And the reason why it's a different event is because I literally looked at what I wanted, and I knew it appealed to people like you. I knew it appealed to other people, other creators and marketers, because I do marketing, I do ad buying. It's going to appeal to them too, and it's going to appeal to the creator, and it's going to also appeal to the brands, because that's who I am, and I know how specific the things that I really care about. It's like I personally 100% hate panels. I think it's the biggest waste of time in the history of all mankind when it comes to an event. And so you'll only see maybe one panel or two out of the whole 62 that goes on. And the only reason why I do that is because there are certain topics that can be covered that you don't need to prepare much for. And that's why I don't like panels, is there's no preparation, there's no strategy or tactics that I want to learn.
Sure.
And go from there. So
it's more like a Q&A. Yeah. You know, one thing that I'd like to just back up a little bit, because you're talking about, you know, like me going to Bid Summit the first time and, you know, not knowing what to expect and all of that. Like one thing for me that I just want to put out there is, when I went to Bid Summit for the first time, like for me, it was like the experience that I had there. Of course, I didn't know what to expect going into it, but I didn't expect to have my like whole brain shaken in terms of just the overall experience. Because, you know, for me, like you said, you know, you're making it for people that are, you know, that are similar in terms of, you know, like the interest and all that, plus, you know, wanting to do this, you know, as something serious and all of that. And for me, when I went there, like that was kind of like a pivotal moment for me in terms of just how I thought of what it is that I'm doing, in terms of being able to connect with other people at scale, you know, that are doing the same thing I am. Because, you know, especially, you know, being over here, because I flew all the way, you know, that was the first time I ever flew all the way to the other side of the planet to go do something like that, right? And like I got so much value out of your conference, Derral, that if the option was there to fly every single month, as much of a pain as that would be, I would be on a plane every single month coming over to Bid Summit because of all the value that I got out of it. Like for me, that was like a pivotal thing. D, when I came back from Bid Summit,
I just want to interrupt you and say that if you're willing to fly 24, 25, 26, 30 hours of travel time, because that's because we're in Asia. And through the layovers and everything, right, we can't fly direct from where we're coming from. So if you're willing to fly a day or sometimes more than a day, every month to go to this event, there you go.
So when I came back
that's got to be awesome.
When I came back from Bid Summit, what did I say to you?
I've never in my entire life of knowing you have seen you so fired up and so motivated and so refocused and ready to just like, you know, balls to the wall. I'm doing this. Yeah.
I mean, it was
a mind change. It was a life changing experience.
It was a shift in my being, so to speak, in terms of like, you know, just the knowledge that I was able to pull from it, the conversations that I was able to have, because, you know, like for me personally, like I think that, like the conversations that you get to have with people that you would think, like I'll even say this on the internet, like whatever. Okay,
let it go.
Yeah.
Let it
okay.
out.
So when I first went, right, like I had people, and I won't say names, but I had people to where I thought, okay, well, if I see them there, because I know they're going, if I see them there, they're probably going to have like this little bit of like a, you know, hey, I'm like, you know, doing this, that, or the other thing. So they're going to be in their own like little protected space or whatever. But like how open everybody was in terms of just like the conversation. I told you this before, D. How open everybody was just in terms of like the conversation and just being like, you know, welcoming in terms of like, yeah, you got a question, like what's going on, and just kind of talking to you, you know, talking shop about YouTube and just talking shop in general was just fantastic. Like all the barriers that I thought were going to be there were completely non-existent. And I think, Derral, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think that's because like when I went to and I'm not gonna like trash talk anybody, but when I went to
I'll trash talk.
Yeah, D's like I will. yeah. So D and I went to another conference earlier this year, a few months ago, and at that one it was cool. We had a great time. But it wasn't really focused in terms of, you know, like being around a bunch of like-minded folks. It was just kind of like, hey, everybody's kind of gathering here, but you didn't get that like really you didn't get that connection and the networking that I got at Vid Summit. Like that level of things is just a night and day difference in comparison. So I'll back off here a little bit, Derral, because I'm like taking over the I'm just like sitting here like ranting on how awesome this is.
I'm just gonna co-sign again how fired up you were. Like you went there and you came back. I think it was you came back. I mean, it's kind of cheesy to say you came back a different person, but like your mind,
I was on a mission.
Your mind, your mind had shifted, and like it was just you were like a different Nick at that point in terms of your focus and what you were
I think
that's
the biggest thing, like for me, is, and this deals with content, guys. The Vid Summit is content and connections, but like really understanding your audience and knowing what they like. That's why Nick came back all fired up, is because it was like literally firing on things that he's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Oh, I can't believe this, whatever. And it really shifted his thought process so that he's going to be one of these people that come back time and time again to every Vid Summit, as long as that whatever's advertised to him. And when he goes to have that experience, that's where the key is. And so the same concept with videos. It's like 100%. If you're going to get people literally invested in you and your content, at the end of the day, they really, really need to have that type of experience. So if you really are firing on all cylinders and really know who your viewer is, and I would recommend that it's one kid or one person or one individual, and you really try to figure out what makes them tick, then that's where you'll have a lot of congregation of other people joining whatever it is. It could be your video, it could be your conference, it could be whatever whatever you want to do.
Yeah, fantastic. And I just want to say, Zach Talks Tech is in the house from Team Unfiltered up in here.
Oh yeah,
he's just saying that he's going to Vid Summit as well. So that's awesome. Going to see you and the Team Unfiltered crew over there. That is awesome.
And Derral, he's so fired up that he fired me up, and now I'm gonna take the miserable trip, the flight across literally the other side of the world to come to your event. So I'm so excited. I can't contain my excitement.
Yeah, likewise. It's like the thing that I look forward to.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I get to go over there for that. Yeah, it's awesome. Absolutely awesome. So, real quick, Derral, you know what? We actually have a clip loaded up there. So I'm gonna play a clip, Derral, from your conference, if that's okay with you, for basically just to kind of give like just like a little bit of promo stuff, because we're answering questions and all that, but I also just want to show them a little bit about what the conference is about, because again, I'm so fired up about it. And I'm sure if anybody watching this right now, if you can't tell, how fired up I am, but I'm fired up about it, and I just kind of want people to see kind of what's going on there, the kind of vibe that they can kind of expect from the event. And real quick, I also want to say that I have a link in the description to where you can go learn more about Vid Summit as well. So make sure that you go check that out. Also,
I'm gonna play that video in just a second. I just want to say that, and Derral, you can confirm, and Nick, you can confirm this too. It doesn't matter what size your channel is for this thing.
No.
Small creator, large creator. This is for you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, drop it.
Yeah, I'm going to let it roll.
thing that you'll notice from that also, from that clip right there is, and again, I've got a link to that down in the description below, and I want you to know also that the link that I have in the description below, it's not an affiliate link, it's just a straight link that's going over there. Derral's not paying me for this or anything like that. Like, this is just, I want you to go to Vid Summit. I'm going to be there, D's going to be there, the people that you saw in the video is going to be there, Gary V's going to be there, Sean Cannell,
Peter McKinnon is going to be there.
So I want you to go to Vid Summit. We're actually going to do a meetup as well. So like, if you're in this stream, if you're watching this, I definitely want you at that meetup as well, to where, you know, like, we're just going to hang out. Like, the people that are around the stream are also going to hang out as well. So I really want to see you there. But yeah, like with like Peter McKinnon, like, how awesome is that going to be?
I would fly to the other side of the world to meet Peter McKinnon.
Right.
Like, he's such
well, you literally are going to fly to the other side of the world.
Yeah, right. Well, that's a bonus.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, actually. No, but I mean, he's Peter, I'm coming for you, man. No, I mean, like, he's such an inspirational creator for so many people.
Man, he really
you know
is.
what I mean? Just to, hey, man, thanks for just being inspirational.
Yeah.
Like, that's totally worth it. And you know who else, man? I know Cody Warner. Derral, I know you've been doing a lot of things with him recently, and I'm fired up to meet him too.
Yeah.
He's like a ball of inspiration.
He's going to be so big. I don't think people realize how big he's going to be.
Yeah.
But like, all the signs of growth are around that guy, and he's super smart, super humble, super approachable. And like, for me, I want to learn from people like him. That's why I put him on the main stage. I'm like, dude, Cody, come. I want to learn from you. And he's like, I've never given a presentation before. I'm like, you got something to teach? Because I want to learn.
Yeah,
nice.
he's got it. You know, people always talk about, you know, some people have it, some people don't have it, some people have to work on it. I don't know what his background is, but I know when I watch his videos, I just think, man, he's like firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Like, he's got it. I'm engaged as soon as I hit play on his video, and I watch it till the very end.
Yeah.
Every video.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Fantastic creator.
Yeah. Who else is going to be there? Derral, because I know, you know, we're going, of course, Peter McKinnon's going to be there. He's going to be there. Sharadici's going to be there. Gary Vaynerchuk.
Roberto Blake, Sean Cannell.
Yeah, who else? Who else is going to be there?
Tim Schmoyer, can't forget Tim.
Yeah,
right?
Tim's going to be there.
Now, what I love about this is there's some people that will look at the list. I mean, you can find a list at vidsummit.com, and they don't know who they are, and they're like, this is kind of boring. But literally, these are practitioners in their field that just crush it. And probably the one that I'm really the most excited about is Rachel Farnsworth. Did you go to her session last year?
I'm not sure if I did or not, because
you need to go to her session. She's like literally the smartest person on Facebook.
Okay.
That's there. But
I need to step up my Facebook game. So yeah, I'll definitely be in hers then.
Yeah, I think the one that I'm probably the most excited about, I can guarantee nobody else really knows who they are, but this kid is in college. I don't even think I shared this with you, but he's in college, and he was selected as one of the people that I was working with as an Amazon influencer, because Amazon's our title partner for Vid Summit, and I wanted to be able to get a case study for him. He's making over $100,000 a month utilizing YouTube videos and pushing traffic to Amazon. It is ridiculous.
Nice. That's getting it done. Oh my gosh. Really getting it done. That's awesome.
And I'm like, dude, quit school. This is like this. He's like, no. I'm like, come on. It's like, he went and even did an internship this summer. I'm like, why are you doing an internship? You're making $100K. He's like, I wanted to put it on the resume. I'm like,
you know what? That's an achiever, though. You know what I mean? Like, you know what? I just want to mark this off the list. Something I want to accomplish. Going to mark it off the list and then keep plowing forward. That, you know, that's cool. It's like, you know, like, you need to stop doing that and do this. But on the same hand, it's like, you know, thumbs up that you're able to, you know, balance both of them and keep it all rolling. Thumbs up to you for that one. We Are If said that they're in the chat right now. They're like, you know, they were thinking like, hey, this is far. But then they're like, after hearing it like hyped up, they're like, man, I should get a ticket. We Are If. Again,
this is far.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I think they're in Bangkok, actually. We Are If.
Let's travel together,
man. That's what
Let's
I was
go.
about to say. We Are If you're wanting to go, then because we're up in Chiang Mai. So if you're wanting to go, then either you can come up here with us or whatever, and then we can all just kind of like roll over there together. We can
the
Thailand
Thailand
we can all
posse.
go together. Yeah, the
Thailand
crew.
Posse. We'll do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Representing Thailand.
Yeah, so definitely go for it. So one other question that I have for you, Derral. here is one person. Great, I just lost it. Oh, retention on music videos, really quick, and then we'll get back into the Vid Summit thing. But I get this question a lot in terms of like, hey, people are having trouble growing music channels. Do you have any tips? Because I know you've worked with some like really high level music channels. Do you have any tips for the people in the music space?
I'll tell you what, if there's one niche that's the most difficult niche in YouTube, it's music. And it's not to intimidate you, but there's so many different moving parts outside of what a normal creator would have to deal with. If you're doing your own original music, it's like, okay, how do you actually try to figure out how to do something trending with your original stuff? If you're doing cover music, then you're fighting with attorneys and lawyers with these labels that are coming after you. You might have to do some, you don't even get ad revenue on some of your videos, or it just depends on, the percentage base. So it's a very difficult market to go. What I would do if I was in your situation is I'd go on Musical.ly 100%. There's opportunity there. And then you can use that as a traffic source to push over to YouTube. And really depending on how you do it, it's very, very difficult. Not saying it's impossible, but you need to figure out traffic sources. And then as you're getting it, it's one of my favorite YouTubers in the world is a musician, and she blows me away every time. And it's the most simple video. It's her sitting down playing the guitar, and it's just a black backdrop.
Oh, nice.
And yet it is amazing because she's a master at her craft, and she pulls in, Pachelbel's canon or whatever with metal, heavy metal.
Nice.
And like,
Nice.
dude, this is just amazing.
Nice.
You check her out. It's Tina S. She doesn't post a lot, but if there's one person in the world that I'd ever drop everything to work with, it would be her, because she's amazing from the type of sucking a viewer in. Because if they can suck a viewer in like me, I'm the most critical, I'm the most skeptical viewer that's out there. And I usually don't watch every video. And when I do, I know there's something special about it because it was able to get me. And I'm one of this weird avatar viewers. So
nice. And one thing that I want to address is, like you've listened to Derral, right? And you've listened to Derral during the stream. Like he's answering questions about gamers, he's answering questions about music channels, all this stuff. Like, this is his event, right? Vid Summit is his event to where you can actually walk up to Derral. Of course, he's not going to do like a full channel consult on you, but you can walk up to Derral, you can walk up to Roberto, you can walk up to me.
I just want to interrupt you for a second.
Yeah,
so I just met Derral for the first time back at the other event
at VidCon, yeah,
and I was amazed at how friendly and approachable he was, and a lot of the other creators that are really large, Roberto and Tim Schmoyer, everybody, and Sean and Benji, these guys are like so approachable. So if you're like kind of shy and you're afraid to talk to people, don't be.
And that was my expectation too when I went to Vid Summit for the first time. Like that was my first introduction to these people like face to face, and it was the same exact thing. Like I had some expectations in terms of people are going to be kind of guarded, but it was more like people were just so open and so approachable in terms of like, hey, what's going on, and they just kind of pull you right into the circle, into the conversation. Actually, and just like all types of awesome knowledge bombs.
Now that I think about it, Derral hugged me.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's pretty approachable.
Derral gave me a hug. Yeah, I remember that.
Wait, you're my favorite Nimmin here. Come on.
Yeah,
there you go.
There's another one.
Yep. Look at that.
Yep, there's another one. Yep.
I'm just teasing.
So Zach Talk Tech says, I've got a question for you guys. Would it be weird for me wearing my merch with my channel brand name on it at Vid Summit? Absolutely not. You should always, in my opinion, rep your stuff. If it's your brand, if it's your channel, like whatever it is that you are doing, always rep your stuff. I'm going to be wearing my NIMMINATI stuff. I'm actually bringing some NIMMINATI stuff to actually give away, which is why it's really important that you come to the meetup when we hold that. So it's definitely totally cool to wear your merch and represent your stuff.
Hey,
sure.
Could I address that specifically? I mean, that's a really, really important point. One of the things that I've tried to create a culture of at Vid Summit is openness and willingness to share, and having people give really, really good advice. There's people that are super smart there that never have a platform to teach or to educate. That's why I created the Vid Summit, so I could learn from them. That would be the platform. And when it's dealing with you as an attendee, What I would do if I was in your situation and I was coming to the Vid Summit for the first time is I would be an active listener. And there's something about that. It's like if you're always pushing your agenda, you're not going to ever learn from people that really have a lot to share.
Yeah,
and if you're able to active listening, which is asking questions, but not pointed to your own promotional stuff, the better that it is and the better experience that you're actually going to have. Let me give you an example. So there was a guy that went to Vid Summit. His name's Steve, and he had 1,000 subscribers when he went there. And they watched a presentation, and he went outside because that's what you do after. I have like a 15-minute window before the next presentation. A lot of people think it's disruptive. I like it because people can actually have a conversation about what was being said before the next presentation. And so that was happening. And he was actually surrounded himself by a guy that had 5 million subscribers and 2 other guys that had over, 1 million, 2 million subscribers. And they're having the conversation about the presentation that I gave on stage about, how YouTube looks at other related channels and content, video content to suggest. And we talked about some strategies, and they were discussing things that they were doing that was similar to what was being presented. And it literally connected the dots for Steve, and Steve just like, this is gold. And basically he came back the next year. He came back the next year, and he had 1.2 million subscribers because that was the missing piece. That was the missing piece that he needs. And him and his wife are coming back this year. So it's been 2 years since that first initial 1,000 subscribers when he put all in. He goes, I'm serious about this. It's the business side. And ultimately they're coming back, and I think they're close to 3 million subscribers. Nice. But let me kind of explain. This is, I think, is misunderstood. And let me explain why I do this. And why I put on the Vid Summit is because I've consulted so long, and I see people get a whole bunch of audience and they don't make really good money. Yeah, they might do some ad revenue, but what happens when the views stop? And they're like, oh, I'll be popular. No, I've never seen anyone consistently be popular. You have some OGs, but they struggle with some of their ad revenue. It's not like what it was before. But at the end of the day, it's like seizing the opportunity and leveraging in a way that you can make money outside of YouTube is really the key. And why we do the Vid Summit is because I truly believe in opportunity. I truly believe in the business side. And if you can leverage the business side for you as a creator, you can create more content that you want. And one of the things that I do, and when I work for it, is like, how are we going to make money at this? Well, no, I want to do it. It's my art. It's my craft. No. Like, you can only do your art and craft so much. You got to figure out how to leverage it to make money so you can do it more. And they're like, oh, okay. And we look at different options from there. And so with Steve, he's building his dream house, in cash, just mind you. Nice. and has done brand deals
full of $100 bills.
What's that?
Suitcases full of $100 bills in cash.
Yeah, he's like, I want to build a house. Here's the suitcase. Go for it. Like, oh, But like, literally, the money is ridiculous if you look at the opportunity there. And like, some of my favorite people in the world is Steven and Carter Scherer. They're coming back. They spoke last year. And I think with all their stuff, they get right around 300 to almost 400 million views a month. And what's crazy is what's actually happening with the business side. It's like, yeah, the views and the CPM's great. And even if you're picked up on Google, like if you're on Google Preferred, that's like the highest tier. It's where Google says, oh, we're only putting our best ads there. That's when you make the most money. But even without that, it's literally a drop in the bucket with all the other opportunities that you can do if you're able to establish the business side. And I can guarantee you everything that they've done outside of their content creation was really leveraging the business side of it. I mean, we've had a ton of consultations, but they learned a lot at Vid Summit, and they're like, oh, do you know what? I could start this company. I could hire this employee. We could treat this like a business. And when you treat it like a business, you're still creating content, but then you become the distribution of content, and it doesn't matter what platform it is. And if you do it right, you can be making more money and more sustainable and achieving the goals that you want in shorter amount of time when you treat it with an actual plan. You actually have a plan going into it. And I want to give this tip because I'm passionate about it, but I talk with creators, and I have creators that watch my channel and watch, and follow. They don't have a plan. They literally don't have a plan. They just upload video. Oh, okay, here's a great idea. Let's do it. What?
Fingers crossed.
Like,
uploading
seriously?
videos. Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, and when I do consulting or I'm working with someone, I'm like, let's develop a plan. I got so I met 2 creators that I'm actually helping them. I'm mentoring them. Met them at VidCon, and I was so touched by their content of what it could be, not what it is now, but what it could be. I'm like, I will literally consult you for free. Nice. And that's a big deal. And we've been literally hashing it out for almost a month now of the plan, because like I ain't gonna just have them put up videos. I'm not gonna just say, look at this. Like, unless we know what our channel and brand stands for, and we understand what makes us tick and who the viewer is, like that, like I can't explain how important that is. But then 2, what is our plan to reach them? And I can tell you right now, we have a video that's actually being like the concept, the script is being written right now that will literally explode their channel. Nice. And it'll get them more visibility because of the plan. We know we're gonna be firing on all cylinders. We know the verbiage, we know the messaging that's gonna engage someone and get them more emotionally invested into those content creators, and they will take off. I guarantee you they'll take off. And they'll take off where other people like Ellen and Jimmy Kimmel, like they'll pull them in and giving them even more exposure. But at the end of the day, you have to have a plan. And if you just upload content, your plan is pull out the video camera, record something, upload it to YouTube, then you're never, ever, ever going to scale it how you can when you actually have a plan of what you're actually going to do.
Fantastic.
Man.
Love that. Geeks Life says that they love the show production. Thanks, Geeks Life. And they said that they will see us at Vid Summit. That is fantastic. Derral, that is awesome, man. Absolutely awesome.
That is fantastic. And Geeks Life.
Geeks Life, I'm here to tell you that they are doing our live stream. They're like my setup here was them, and they're actually helping us with the live stream. We got some pretty crazy ideas. Really, really crazy ideas. I'm going to do something way out of my comfort zone, but it's like the virtual tickets, like super amazing. We actually have Luria that's going to host the Vid Summit for all the virtual attendees. Why? Because we have 4 rooms going on, and then you choose which room you want to go to. But we have other elements that David and I just kind of brainstorm on. He's one of the most brilliant guys I've met, and geekiest guys I've met. So Geeks Life is definitely the right term for this guy and the audience that he attracts. So.
Nice. So for the virtual thing that you're talking about. So basically, what that means, in case you're watching this, and you don't know. Basically, for the people that can't get there, the people that can't get to Vid Summit for whatever reason in October, he basically has a virtual ticket to where you can actually watch everything online. So you can watch it live as it's going down, and you get replays, right, Derral?
Yeah. So basically, the virtual ticket is that you're virtually going there. So like how you go to the event, you can only go to one room, and so you go to that one room, and then the replay option is like super cheap. So that's just kind of thrown in there that there's an upsell, for that. That's just great business for that, And so we give everybody the ability to have a ticket or a virtual ticket, and then they also have the ability to get every session as a replay.
Nice.
For really, really, really low. The great thing about this is they can be in their pajamas in Poland and literally watch every session that they're interested in, just like they were there. The only bad thing about it is that discussion and the energy that you can get from the conference itself.
Right, and there's so much value in that. Like the replays are great. So if you can't get there, just for the information being shared, I would definitely recommend the replays as well. Viper, what's up, man? Nice to see you in here.
Hey, Viper.
But like Derral's saying, the actual vibe that you get there. I mean, you heard us rant on about it. If you're just coming into the stream, you didn't hear, but we just went on for like a 10-minute thing to where we're just ranting about how awesome it is, just in terms of like the energy and networking and just hanging out with other, creators that are doing the same thing that you are, and knowledge share, when you're just standing in the hallway, talking to other people that are, doing the same thing that you're doing and all of that stuff. It's just absolutely amazing. So,
hold on. Geeks Life says,
what did it say?
Geeks Life says, D is trying to say something. Your ears must be burning because we were talking about Geeks Life, and I just wanted to give credit where credit is due, because Loria and David, they're part of the actually, they're a lot of the inspiration for me building this studio.
Oh, nice.
Like when I watched them live and I saw how they brought their just absolute A game to their studio, and they did the same thing for Derral.
They bring like a way above A game.
Right.
Yeah, there's like A, and then there's like what they bring. Which
there's
is
like
way
A,
up here.
and it's like, don't even try.
Right.
They're like A+++.
Right. Yeah. So I just wanted to say, I think I told Lori about this when I met her. Thank you for the inspiration. You guys are just fantastic and huge inspiration for me in terms of what you're doing with live streaming. So thank you.
Yeah, so you'll get to meet him at just don't
fan
out. Yeah,
don't
fan out. Yeah.
David, I'm gonna fan out.
Yeah, he might fan out on you. Be careful.
No, thanks.
Yeah. So one thing that I want to say is and again, that the link that I have in the description for Vid Summit, it is it's not an affiliate link or anything like that. Like this is something that I just want you to go to because it was such a game changer for me. So what I also want to do, just because it doesn't cost me anything extra because it's already available there anyway. If you get a ticket to Vid Summit, either an in-person ticket or if you get a virtual ticket through the link in the description. Again, it's not an affiliate link, but just so that I know that you're getting it. If you get that, I'll also give you a year's access of Tuber tools as well. Just as some additional stuff that you can use for your video stuff, because the reason for that is because I know you're going to be taking this stuff seriously. Like if you're going to the event, you're consuming that additional content to really level up your game. I want to help you in terms of those assets as well, because that kind of is like, hey, that's symbolic of, hey, I'm trying to take this and actually do something serious with it. So if you can email me the confirmation that you signed up for it, then I'll give you access to Tuber tools as well. Just a heads up.
Nice.
Well, did I tell you too? I don't think I mentioned this because we were just talking about just what the conference is, but for the next week, anyone that buys an in-person pass at Vid Summit gets a pair of Gary V dirt and cloud shoes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Those K-Swiss.
Are they autographed? Are they autographed by Gary? Do you know?
Here's the thing: is there's going to be an opportunity to get them autographed if you'd like.
Because we'll hang
at the event.
Because we can hang those somewhere, like right in the corner. Yeah, we can hang them like right back. Those are Gary V shoes right there.
Right. Yeah.
I'd love to add that to the studio.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So just value add all over the place.
Yeah.
Value add all over the place, but in reality, like without all the other stuff, like Vid Summit just by itself is incredible. Derral, what inspired you to do that in the first place? Like your first Vid Summit. Like what was your motivation behind getting all that together?
Yeah, for me, I love learning, and I love learning the right way. So like traditional education just doesn't do it for me. Like reading a book, just doesn't do it for me. I do love books. I probably read about 26 books a month, somewhere around there. My Audible account is like, I just pretty much $200 a month is what I'm paying on my Audible because I go through so many books.
Nice.
But I love to learn it at my own speed, and I love to choose what I learn and not be force fed. Hey, you got to learn this, And so on my quest for knowledge, I realized my dad taught me at a young age that the best way to learn from someone is from learning from the person that's actually the practitioner or expert in the business, and you can learn something from everyone. And you can find people that you meet and come across that are really good at one thing, and you can look at that and figure out how do you actually apply it to your business. And I know, Nick, we had a conversation just the other day because I was trying to evaluate and learn from an experience that I had, and I asked you specifically if I wanted to validate kind of some things, and you went off and you said, yeah, this is I was able to see it the same. Well, I actually had you go first, and then I just said, okay, you validated what I was thinking, and I had a couple concerns, and it worked out really great. But that knowledge of finding people that just understand their craft is key. So I decided that I would go to these conferences and I would literally get 1 or 2 speakers that were just off the charts, but they were come and gone. I'm like, man, if I ever want to learn the rate that I want to learn, I need to get more people that are really, really good. And they're not necessarily educators. They're not necessarily professional speakers, but they're actually practitioners of their craft. And so I decided to do something crazy, and I put on my own event in LA, called it the Vid Summit, and I personally invited 15 presenters to present. And we literally had a private conference. It was an invite-only conference. We had a total of 100 people there, including the 15 people and myself. And it literally blew my mind on the openness and the transparency of what everybody was doing. And I specifically assigned each topic. And I didn't say, hey, what do you want to do? It's just like, hey, I noticed that you did this campaign. Would you be willing to share this strategy? Blah, 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 blah. And you've grown this channel. Would you be willing to do the strategies behind your content, whatever it may be? So we did 15 of those. And I was very specific on the content. And it was like off the charts.
Nice.
I remember taking those 15 speakers and we went to a Mexican restaurant. And I'm like, dude, this is the vision that I have for the Vid Summit. And a couple of them laughed, says that's just crazy talk. And others like, dude, like this would be awesome if there was an event like that. And that's where it came, is I wanted to keep that culture and have it be something that people, like, speakers are approachable, but I wanted a conference where speakers would sit in the audience and learn from other speakers. And at these other conferences, they don't do it. They do their conference, or they do their speech and they're gone. And that's what I wanted to create, because that knowledge is just as valuable for them if they will just be an active listener. They actually listen to what's going on. And those are the type of people that I put on stage. And I can guarantee you, all 64 presentations that are being given at this year's Vid Summit, the topic has come from me. And I've told people, like, if you don't, like, if you can't do this, they might pitch an idea and I kind of tweak it a little bit, because I want to know what I want to learn, because I can guarantee you I'm going to watch every single one of those videos just to learn from them. And so that's how the Vid Summit started. And what's crazy was last year was 3 years. So it was our 4th year. And I mentioned to those 15 people I took to that restaurant, and they were blown away. It's like, this is exactly what you told us what it's going to be. And it is amazing. And my goal is to make it better each year. But I can guarantee you this is one thing I can guarantee you: I will never, ever, ever make it a big conference in person. Like, we are maxed out this year. 1,300 people is all it's going to be. I know that seems like a lot of people, but I go to conferences that there's 20, 30,000 people, and it's just chaos. It's willingness to have that transparency and openness where you can actually have a conversation. So we literally lock it down at 1,300. We send out one email, Nick, just to the previous attendees, and we sold 1/3 of our tickets.
Nice.
Just one email.
Nice.
And I want to get to the point where I sell out even right at the next conference. For as soon as it's announced, I want to sell out, make it that valuable. And then 2, we can scale the virtual ticket. We can go we can have 1 million people there virtually. Sure. The people in person, it's just like, hey, I want it to be something special, and I don't want to lose the culture. And I believe if you make it too big, you will lose the culture.
Sure. And what's funny is you said you want to make it that valuable. Like, in my opinion, it's already that valuable. People just aren't, they just haven't caught on yet. You know what I mean? In terms of, selling it out instantly as soon as it's available. It's like the values, without question, that is, that's already there for sure. So for the live chat here, would you have time, Derral, to review one channel?
Dude, my Saturday's your Saturday, man. I am literally here to answer questions,
look
to
at
do
that.
some reviews.
That's
you
what
name
I'm
it.
talking about right there.
Let's go for it, man.
Look at that.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so what we're gonna do, Derral, is we are going to ask a trivia question. This is how we do this to keep it all fair. So we're gonna ask a trivia question. Do you have any of those that you could pull up right now, D?
Actually, Derral, do you have a question you would like to ask? You have some sort of trivia. I mean, you're obviously, I see a Miss Pac-Man in the background
there in the back.
Trivia.
You come up with the question, and yeah.
Do we do trivia like hard or?
Yeah, whatever you want, because we warn everybody and we say, hey, get your Google fingers ready,
right?
Because basically what's going to happen is the question gets answered, and then question gets asked, and then basically people hit Google, and then whoever is the first person to post in the chat with the correct answer, they get their channel pulled up.
Awesome. Okay, so here is the question.
Wait, I need to pause,
and it's a two-parter.
Derral, I need to pause you. Derral, I need to pause you for 1 second. I need to let everybody in the chat know that you need to set your chat to the live chat and not the top chat.
And I also want to say really quick as well, Ian Corzine says, Nick, how do you distinguish VidSummit from VidCon? What are the differences? And I have to take this one really quick, Derral, before we get your trivia question. So here's the difference. VidCon, it's cool. You go and you get to see some, creators. They're just kind of like, like doing their thing, like some of the big creators. And you get to see a lot of like booths and stuff like that. And yes, you get to hang out with people that maybe from, the internet and stuff like that. However, the value in terms of the information that you get, and in terms of the amount of people that are there trying to do the same exact thing that you are, it's just not there. So like at VidCon, it's cool. Don't get me wrong, it's cool. But the difference with VidSummit is like every single person that you are going to meet at VidSummit is somebody that is either doing what you want to do, or it's other people that are hungry enough, that are dedicated enough, that are also there to learn how to do what it is that you're wanting to do as well. So every single person that you're talking to at the event, every single person that you're standing in a circle with, everybody is all there trying to actually do it. It's basically like, the way that I look at it is like VidCon is great for fans, right? VidCon is great for, going and, rubbing shoulders, networking a little bit there as well. But I look at VidCon in terms of like, for people that are taking YouTube seriously, I look at VidCon as kind of like the like college, let's say like college baseball, right? And then like VidSummit is the people that are doing it in terms of like the big leagues. I guess, I don't know. I'm not a sports guy.
I was just gonna say, where are you going with this?
I'm not a sports guy, but I think
that. What are you doing with this?
Yeah, I'm not a sports guy, but I think that baseball is like the big leagues, or the major leagues, I think is what it's called. But the difference to me is basically like the people that you're interacting with, and the actual information that's being shared. Because at VidCon you get all types of like stuff where they're doing panels, like Derral was talking about earlier, to where you get to hear Philip DeFranco talk about something, and people asking him just general questions and that kind of stuff. But here, when you go to VidSummit, it's like all about the business, right? It's all about tactical, right? It's all about the tactical stuff. It's all about strategies that you can apply to what it is that you're doing to actually get results. Like when you leave, like you have to take notes, because there's so much valuable information that when you leave, like you literally have to spend a few days just kind of absorbing everything in your own brain, going through your notes, taking more notes on the notes that you've taken, so that you can kind of get it all together, so to speak. But the difference is night and day. To be honest with you, unless there is like a specific reason to go, I'm not 100% sure if I'm even going to go to VidCon next year. However, with VidSummit, I'll go to VidSummit every single year until Derral says, hey, we're not doing VidSummit this year. So that's the difference in terms of the importance to me personally, and the value that I get out of each one. So I just went, for a long time on that. But
could I answer that question? Because it's really, I love to hear that you
don't like my long-winded answer, is what you're saying.
And I was going to say,
no, I do.
I'm just kidding.
I love it, because it's like, it's true from your perspective of where it's at. But VidCon 100% is an amazing event.
Sure.
I go to it every year. I've been to it every year. And I love what VidCon represents and stands for. In fact, the CEO of VidCon's coming to VidSummit to speak. I mean, that's like, I love it. We work together, synergy. The difference is what Nick just said, is the focus of the conference. Yeah. VidCon is about creators connecting with the fans, creators connecting with brands, creators connecting with other creators. That's the whole purpose of VidCon. Now you have industry track presentations and panels that are appealing to the industry people. You have creator track panels that are creating, for the creator. But literally, the bulk of the tickets that are sold is fans connecting with the creators. And then you have all the big brands come in that say, you know what, we want Casey Neistat's attention. We know that he's going to be at VidCon, so let's go ahead and have a party or something where we can, bring people together, rub shoulders and everything like that. And it's also a way for YouTube and YouTube employees to connect with their creators in person. Okay, so that's kind of the model. And I'll tell you what, I love VidCon. I love it for what it is. But what the difference for Vid Summit is 100%. 100%. How do you grow an audience and make more money with your audience? How do you expand your brand and make a business out of it? And it's all at the end of the day, it could be, well, you need to make better content. It's the workflow. We have that. It might be really understanding how to engage an audience. We have that. It's like, doing other strategies outside of, different platforms to make money. We have that. That's 100% focus. And so where Nick's right, it's like at the end of the day, it's helping you as a creator become better, that you can grow an audience and you know what you're doing. You know what you're looking at, and you're connecting with like-minded creators that want to do the same thing. Yeah. And you're learning and growing together so that you can actually make it sustainable. And sustainability is 100% through money. And that's what Vid Summit's about. At the end of the day, when everything's done, it's about helping you grow your audience and leverage the true power of video and your audience to be sustainable long-term.
Yeah, and with that said, again, I wasn't like trashing VidCon, but
VidCon was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. But what I'm saying is, like Dee and I were talking about before, like the commitment that we have to make in order to travel there and deal with the jet lag and the expense and all that stuff. Like for me personally, what I got out of VidCon, it just wasn't the same as what I got out of Vid Summit when I went. That was the difference I was trying to make. I wasn't in no way.
I can tell you the reason why.
I wasn't in no way saying that it was different. Yeah.
It's not as intimate.
Yeah,
it's not. It's not what you were looking for. Like I had the same thing. I wanted to be able to have active conversations. Like 90% of my time
walking around
at VidCon is literally sitting in a private lounge that no one knows about.
Yeah.
You got one of those. You got one of those yellow bands. Yeah, you got one of the cool yellow bands. Yeah, I didn't have one of those. Yeah.
I did. Why didn't you have one?
I'm in that talking to YouTube employees and people, like the top of the top there, and going to that. That's all I care about and that's where I find the value, because I can have those conversations. But it's like people's focus. Like Disneyland is literally next door. Where we hold the Vid Summit, like the closest place to anything interesting is 45 minutes away. I mean, you can go to the airport. That's like literally 2 minutes, 5 minutes from it. But it's like there's nothing there. The whole reason why you go is not to be entertained, but to learn. And that's why we want to keep people at the conference. We want to make it super intense. We want to have it be like you're drinking from a fire hose, and you come back so pumped that you make this more sustainable and you're making better content.
Hey, Derral, is there an official hashtag for Vid Summit? Is it Vid Summit 2018 or Vid Summit?
That's it. Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, and that's probably the most boring hashtag
2018
in the world, but I
Vid
like
Summit
it.
2018?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's get this trivia rocking and rolling here.
All right.
So Derral, you got a trivia question for us?
Okay, it's a two-parter. Okay, you have to do you have to put both of it in it, or do we do two people, two trivia?
Yeah, we can do two. We can do two people. We can do two people.
I need to ask Derral though. Can you see the chat so you can call the winner? Are you able to see who?
Let me switch. Switch from top chat to live. Give me one second.
Okay.
Yeah, and everybody else who's watching, in case you just tuned in, make sure your chat is set to live chat and not top chat. All right, go.
Okay. In what year did Google purchase YouTube?
Ooh. In what year did Google purchase YouTube? First person who answers that gets a channel review by Nick and Derral. Wow.
Drum roll. So BeatFlow A has a quick question while we're waiting for that to come in. They say, what's the difference between a copyright claim and a copyright strike? BeatFlow A, one way that I like to have people remember that one is a copyright claim is basically where they're like claiming the money from your ads, and the copyright strike is where they're trying to like strike your channel down. That's the best way that I can try to like reference that to make it a little bit memorable. Okay, so we got some dates rolling in here.
Doing it with Jason is the winner. He's the fastest.
Okay. All right. Got it. Boom. Doing it with Jason.
2006. Okay. Now. This is really important. Jason, to actually doing it with Jason to actually get this, I don't care if you Google it or whatever, but how much did they actually buy YouTube for?
Oh. So two-parter.
You better Google, boy.
He's like, oh no, what have I done? That was fantastic.
Two-parter.
Yeah, doing it with Jason
we got people
hilarious.
that's nailing it. It's like literally the 13th of November, 2006. But what do they purchase it for? That's because this is what's interesting. This is what I love. It's like a startup happened. It's like guys that were working for Elon Musk at PayPal decided to start this video platform. There were 3 of them, and they had this concept, this idea. They had a beta in May. And this is in 2005, and then they started to really push and promote. I actually found them through a Craigslist ad. I know that seems really weird, but like in October of 2005, that's when I actually joined on YouTube and saw video online in a totally different way, and my head just literally tried to explode. And the winner is yes. Did he get it? I guess he did. He got the $1.65 billion. That's a lot of money for a year's worth of work.
Absolutely, it is.
What do you think?
Not bad. Not shabby.
Yeah, absolutely it is. Yeah, and with that, Derral, didn't you say if I remember correctly, wasn't it around that time that you started using video for the sake of doing like a iPod? They were giving away like an iPod or something like that.
Yeah, it was that's what enticed me to get there, and I went to YouTube. iPods at that time were the size of literally a brick, and if they threw that iPod at you, it'd literally kill you because it weighed so much. It could hold 1,000 songs though, which was amazing because your little Walkman can only play a tape or a CD or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, I went there, and it's like, hey, if you can get 100 people to sign up, then we'll actually put you in this small little category, and we'll pick winners that will get the iPod. But that's when Steve Jobs introduced the iPod Nano that was the size of a stick of gum. And I actually got that iPod Nano. I was one of the winners there.
Nice.
I used my strategies and tactics as a marketer, spam, and I got people to sign up. I'm not saying that I have like 5 different accounts in 2005 that I signed up for myself with 5 different emails, but that's what you do, right?
Yeah, it was the Wild West at that time.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
So absolutely. With doing it with Jason, do you want me to pull him up on my side, or do you want to pull him up on your side, Derral?
Let me pull him up on my side. Is that cool?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
I gotta find his chat because there's a lot of chats that's going through.
Yep.
Yeah, doing it with Jason in the search bar will pull him up as the very first result too. It's the glasses guy in the profile picture.
All right, here we go.
Got it.
Right.
We got it.
I'm pulling him over.
All right, so can you see my screen just fine?
Yep, we got you. You're up.
Okay, so who's going first? Are you going first, Nick?
Yeah, I'll go first. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's see here. The very first thing, DIY, doing it with Jason. New weekly uploads, woodworking, painting, furniture builds, live how-to. Me personally, I think this like looks okay, but I think that you're putting way too much focus on the logo and less on what the viewer's actually going to get from what it is that you're doing. And I would try to like simplify what it is that you're doing as well. Like for example, since you are teaching people like how to do woodworking, or how to do, painting, like I would try to phrase all of that stuff into just one phrase that you can put as like the focus in your channel art to kind of draw attention to that. So when they land on your channel, the first thing that they're going to see is the value that you're bringing to them, and then have your logo as the secondary there. So that's my first tip. Derral?
I think the big thing is that I would assume that the bulk of your views are mobile, just based off of the type. I can see them if they're learning how to do woodwork. They have their iPad or phone and they're just doing step by step. So I would assume that, you know, at least 70-80% of your views are mobile. The first thing that I see here is your channel's not optimized at all for mobile. The way that things are positioned are disconnected. So what you see here isn't necessarily what people see, because that's only like maybe 20% of the people that are looking at it this way. And so I would think mobile first, and not necessarily look from here. And I guess we could pull it up on the mobile phone, but I would assume, just based off of what I'm seeing here, it's not very organized in a way for mobile and make it appealing. And I would spend a little bit more time on realizing what's your most popular videos, and is there a series of videos that people want, like the how-tos, and immediately your first one's furniture by Jason. But if it's a how-to, you need to get the how-tos up there if that's where a lot of your traffic is. And so I think just the way that you have your system, the way that you have your channel sections in, needs to be more mobile first than it is desktop first.
Fantastic. The next thing from there is, I would say, the actual branding on the thumbnails, like the branding overall, is really loose on what it is that you're doing, and it's important. Like especially in content like this, to where when people see your content elsewhere on the platform, they can easily identify that it's yours, because, you know, like, you're competing against tons of really talented people, and there's going to be a lot of videos that are also going to show a table as an example of what it is that they made. And when they see that table, you want the people that like your content and that like your stuff to be able to identify your content. So getting like a nice, strong visual brand together is definitely something that I personally would recommend doing as well.
I think the thing for me is I like to look at your top videos of what's performing. So a year ago, you had how to stain wood, amazing results, how to finish it. This is not a bad thumbnail. It's actually telling a story. I think you could get rid of stain wood, because that's kind of distracting on the thumbnail itself, and how to, because I mean, the thumbnail is going to complement the title, and they're already seeing how to stain wood, and it's showing you staining wood. So you're actually pulling the eye away from what the story really is, just because of adding wood. Don't get me wrong, titles are good, or I'm sorry, images are great, but for me, it's like it's too overboard. And then I want to see what your top videos are: how to stain wood, how to distress wood, how to metal inlay in wood, how to, you know, quickly dress wood. And then you had adjustable height desk, and that only has 19,000 views 10 months ago. But it tells me right here is the 19 views versus 106,000 views and 221,000 views, that if you actually made it so that it's like how to make an adjustable desk, height desk, and you're showing them how to do that, that's a lot better, and it's more in tune with what actually works. But I think Nick's right in the sense of the thumbnail. They're all over the place, and I get what you're doing, and I think for the knowledge that you have is great. But I want to say this is really important for everyone, is if you are able to explain your video without using words, okay, without using words, and you had to explain it on a 3x5 card, how would you do that? And if you can actually think of very engaging ways to do it, then it's literally more clickable. It's naturally more clickable. And I can tell you, we just started a brand new YouTube channel. We shot our first 3 videos for this YouTube channel. Not going to go into the specifics for it, but 2 weeks prior to that, we planned out the video. What was the number one thing that we actually covered for over 2 hours of our planning meeting was the 3 thumbnails that we were actually creating, and how could we do it without words.
Nice.
And right here, you go back to it, is you basically have words that you don't need. It's not needed whatsoever. And you could literally pull it aside and say, oh, it's, you know, it's stained wood, you know, and it's telling the story of what you're doing. The more that you can do that, the better you have. And I want to show something else. I'll let you give the next tip, but I got to pull something off.
While Darrell's doing that,
okay.
I need to do the obligatory. Professor Nez is in the house. What's up, Professor Nez?
What's up, Professor Nez? Nice to see you in here, man.
All right. Sorry. I'm gonna go ahead. I gotta pull something up, but I'm like sharing my screen.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, we just switched. Yeah, we just switched, so you're off.
Okay.
We didn't see those passwords.
Yeah. So one thing, you know, since we're talking about thumbnails and he's talking about imagery, you know, one thing that I always like to tell people, or that you might hear a lot if you are in the live streams, is, you know, for some people, you know, like they're tuned in, or they've learned how to be able to tell that story through the imagery that they're using in their thumbnails. And if you can do that effectively, then you don't necessarily need to put text on your thumbnail. But if you have no clue on how to do that, or you're just getting started and you're like, hey, I don't even know where to start on trying to tell what's going on in my video through my thumbnail, that's where text can be really valuable, because you're basically supporting what it is that you're talking about in the thumbnail in that particular situation. Like, as an example, you know, like if you look at Peter McKinnon, he's always the reference that we give, right?
Yeah.
If you look at Peter McKinnon, you know, he's so in tune with how to express what's happening and tell that story in his thumbnail. So because of that, you know, he doesn't necessarily have to put, even though he has text on some of his thumbnails, it's not something that's a requirement, because he's so good and so talented at being able to express what the video is about by just using the imagery in the thumbnail. And I love, Derral, how you said that. Think of like how to explain this. Like if you had to squeeze that onto like a 3x5 card, you know, how would you explain this to where it's easy to understand? I think that's a great way to frame it in terms of helping people understand how they can kind of structure this stuff, or basically a starting point,
right?
Essentially, in terms of, you know, how to start with telling that story. I think that's a great tip.
That's a fantastic thing. As he was saying that,
yeah, I was like, wow, that's a great way to explain
my
that.
My mind started like bending a little bit in terms of like, okay, how can I do that?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah, I love these little nuggets. You know, these things that you get. Man. It's just like that.
Yeah, and this is the stuff that you get in the hallways, right? This is the stuff that you get when you go to the events. Is this stuff? But
you learn this sort of thing. All these little tips from all these other creators. Everybody has their own little thing that they're doing. That, you know, the little thing for watch time, the little thing for more engagement, the little thing for this or that, and you get those little tips in the hallways or over coffee, over dinner. Yeah. Or whatever, yeah.
And you're like, wow, I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
right.
It's incredible. It's really incredible.
Yeah,
absolutely incredible. So, Derral, do you have that? Up there?
No, it's no, I don't.
Okay, no worries.
It's on a different account. I won't be able to pull that up.
Okay, that's cool. No worries.
But basically, what I was doing is there's a lot of weight behind thumbnails, and let me not share my screen. How's that?
Okay, there we go.
There's weight behind thumbnails, and the weight that you need to look at is YouTube's very, 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 very smart of really identifying what it wants to identify. There's something that, you know, some other things they do a blind eye to, and we're not going to get into that conversation. That could be very nasty. But at the end of the day, they're pulling information from the content that you're receiving. Remember, the content is the title, the thumbnail, the hook, the video content, and your description. They're basically pulling that information together. And what YouTube uses for their AI is Google Brain. And Google Brain is literally super smart, and it's always actively learning. And so when you upload a thumbnail, it can tell very specifically the distressed child that's in it, or things that would cause the indicators to say, oh, maybe we don't want to put that out, or it's not safe, or you'll get demonetized. Like, it's very, very smart. And where it is too, is it really pulls in on what what the internet would view that thumbnail to be, and be very, very specific on it. So there's tools that we use to really understand what Google's using. I was going to pull that up, but it just didn't work. I'm in the wrong account, and
yeah, no worries.
We'll have to get to that to another time.
So
there'll be something at the Vid Summit. I can guarantee you that will be at the Vid Summit. That's part of my presentation. So is that good?
yeah, heck yeah. So one question, because again, you, just for people that are just joining the chat, you've taken, what is it, 21 channels from 0 to over 1 million subscribers, and part of that is getting that imagery together, learning how to express what's going on in thumbnails, learning how to make effective thumbnails. Do you have or have you noticed like any particular pattern in terms of when we do these particular things, then it typically tends to get a better result than when we do or when we don't do those particular things?
Yeah, like it's all about what triggers on YouTube, gives it the kick. Let me kind of explain. I was chatting with a huge YouTuber. She has 5 channels, and I mean, she's crushing it, like literally crushing it right now, her and her husband. I was on a call with him yesterday, just because of a mutual friend, that connection. But anyway, we were having a conversation on things that she learned that don't necessarily work for her channel anymore. And she's trying to get down to the bottom of it. I knew the answer because of some other channels we own had the same issue. And so we were able to have a good conversation on it and a tactical strategy from it. That being said, there's YouTubers that you just see are going to take off. You see YouTubers that have already taken off and their content is just really good. And what makes it unique and what makes it really take off is the content itself. Like you have people coming every Saturday and literally sitting on for how many hours with you guys?
Yeah, up to,
like,
I think we're at 7 hours.
Yeah,
I think 7 hours is our
It's a
limit,
ritual, a ritual in their week. And if you can become a ritual in someone's day or week, that's what they're thinking of, it's great. So when I was a younger kid, they had a TV program on called Seinfeld. I love Seinfeld, and Seinfeld I just to this day, it's just super great. I love it. Right? It resonated with me on a level. But guess what? When I knew Seinfeld was coming on, I was on watching it. And when it had replays on Fox, I was watching it. It's just like it became a part of who I am. And I would come on the same times, same channel, same day, and it was my ritual. And so to answer your question, it's like understanding your viewer and the rituals that would be adapted from it. That right there is what we're talking about. And that's what the AI is programmed for, is saying, oh, these people have these rituals and there's more people out there. Let's get these videos out in front of it. And it's knowing it, like to the extent it's really knowing what your brand or your channel or your business stands for, and what that viewer would find valuable that you're doing, and so that's where it's at. And out of all the 21 channels, I did it because I wanted to see if it's actually my theories of what audience development means can be across every single vertical. And absolutely it is, because it's human nature. Nice. It's humans that are watching the videos, and they have challenges. They have problems that they're facing every day. They have work. They have school. They have family issues. They have relationship issues. There's a lot of little things that are going on. And once you can kind of get into that head, and become a part of their life, that's where the change is. Nice. That's where the growth is.
Yeah, nice. That's nice.
Yeah, and in the Creator Academy, you know, they which I recommend everybody goes through. It's kind of like a thing that I always say every Saturday.
Right.
But like in the Creator Academy, also, you know, they mention, you know, like instead of worrying about what the algorithm likes, worry about what your audience likes, or think about what your audience likes. And basically, if you make that content, if you make that content and they watch, the algorithm will follow. And basically, everything that Derral just said is basically supporting, you know, what YouTube is already telling us in terms of, you know, like basically focus on the audience. And that's why, and Derral, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's why Derral focuses so hard on making sure that he understands who that target demographic is, that target person is, so that he can make sure that he's serving that audience. Because if he's serving that audience, then the algorithm is more likely to support it, because he's nailing that audience in terms of what it is they like to consume, which makes the content good content for that specific audience. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the presentation I did at VidCon was really in depth. I mean, I had some great information and data. Like had tens of thousands of channels that we were able to analyze and go. It's just really understanding that engagement, or what I call true engagement, where someone finds so much value in it that they might watch it more than once. They might come back, you know, and watch it several times. Or they might rewind a part that they love in the video and watch it again. All those things are key to really knowing that you're connecting with your audience. And when you're connecting with that audience, and YouTube's smart enough to know who that person is, they can find more people like that. And let's say that, are you familiar with Matthias and the Team Edge and that whole conglomerate of channels? Are you familiar with those guys?
The whole conglomerate, no, but Team Edge and Matthias, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Matthias is a friend, and you know, Jay Fred was actually a presenter at Vid Summit last year. They come every year. It's like they get it. They get the business side, you know, to the Vid Summit. They get that. And one thing that they do is, if you watch any of their videos on any one of their channels, and they have tons of channels, mind you. They're huge, and they understand the dynamics of suggesting videos and stuff like that, and they're crushing it across the board. But one thing that you'll find is their pacing of their videos is insane. I can tell you this right now, and I don't think that they would mind me sharing, but I haven't seen it, like literally from my perspective, I haven't seen audience retention like they had in maybe 10 channels that I've ever seen that had better audience retention than them.
Wow.
And I've seen thousands and thousands and thousands of channels, and then I had access to tens of thousands of channels too. It's just they're off the chart. And what they understand is they know who their audience is so well that they understand the pacing that needs to happen in a video. And you know how we talked about the hockey stick effect, where there's a lot of drop off. They don't have that. They have it go like this, and it's always there.
Wow.
You know, high 70 some odd % of the people that start it finish it.
Wow.
That is when you know you have something great, and you can replicate it. That's what I'm saying is there's opportunity here to expand and to grow, and you can do things that you want. Now, Matthias had a channel that he loved called Matthias, and you know what? He knew a trend, and he saw where it was going, and based off of some videos that he posted, he changed it to Dope or Nope, and now he's not even the host of it, even though it was branded Matthias, and he's just getting just as many views is just because of actually more views, just because of the pacing of the video, and it's just amazing. So
his thumbnails
the point that
incredible.
I'm getting at the end of the day, it's your content that matters, and connecting with the audience, but knowing the audience even deeper. That these are the items that we discuss at Vid Summit. This is, I'm telling you, at the end of the day, you have if you want to learn how to best practices, you can go to any conference. But if you want to know the down deep, really advanced strategies, tactics, it's all about really understanding what you need to do to take it to the next level. That's what Vid Summit's about.
Yeah, and also with that, like you're covering YouTube, like how to crush it on YouTube. You're covering, like how to crush it on Facebook, how to crush it on LinkedIn. So it's like, like if you're making videos for the internet in general, I mean, of course, for the people that are watching this, YouTube is definitely important to you, and that's going to be there too. But even if you want to expand out, like for me personally, that's going to be the content I'm going to be consuming this year is the stuff about the other platforms, so that I can expand out into those other platforms as well, because there's value in that also. So it's not just YouTube specific, it's video specific, and how to do this stuff on a high level in terms of video specific, not just YouTube.
Yeah.
So Derral, do you want to come up with another trivia question? Dee, do you want to do it? Do you want to crank out another trivia question, and then we'll hop into a
no, absolutely. Let me think about this for a second. Okay. So so we did a YouTube question, and people got that. So for me, I'm like adamant and so enthralled with the Star Wars universe. Should we do a Star Wars trivia question?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, have you seen the my brother's Boba Fett helmet that he has over here?
Stormtroopers.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, it's he's got a Boba Fett and a Stormtrooper sitting over there on the sofa right now.
Okay, so let's just do
Mandalorian. It's a Mandalorian, dude.
Yeah,
Come
Mandalorian.
on.
Sorry.
Okay, so is it Mandalorian or is it Boba Fett?
Mine's a Mandalorian helmet that I'm.
Yeah, my mistake.
It's not. It's not Boba Fett. Yeah, but he doesn't know that. Get out of here.
Like
that's why I'm the favorite Nimmin. That's why I'm the favorite Nimmin.
Let's get super technical from there.
Right.
Okay. Let's do something with Boba Fett.
Oh. All right, guys. This is a trivia question.
I mean, because we got to do something with Boba Fett.
Here we go.
And this is a trick question, mind you.
Oh,
here you go, guys.
Because you got to be a geek to understand this. But who was Boba Fett's father?
Oh, that's a good one. Who?
That's the question.
Here's a trivia question. Who was Boba Fett's father?
That's right.
Who was Boba Fett's father?
And while we're waiting for that to come in, Ian Corzine asks, this is a question for you, Derral. He says, are there any more up-and-coming YouTubers, Derral, that you can recommend for people to watch and learn, so they can basically just keep an eye on what they're doing, so that they can get some information? Anybody that you've noticed that they should keep an eye on?
What channel, like what type of YouTuber are you wanting? Because I mean, there's YouTubers up and coming that it is, but it's just like, it's better to find people closer to your niche than anything else.
Yeah. So Ian, if you can answer that one, then he'll definitely give you a recommendation there on who you should be, keeping an eye out for.
Yeah, we have a winner here.
Get very specific on it. I can help you with that. Okay. So there are a lot of people seeing Jango Fett. But my question to you, this is a D question here.
Okay.
Are they correct?
Oh,
Jango was Boba's father. Actually, no. Well, Jango. Hold on, it's a clone. Hold on. Yeah. He created him as a clone. So technically,
but does clones have fathers?
Well, that's a tough one, man.
Oh, technicalities.
Okay, because I mean, there's
a technical one, man. Yeah,
it's a DNA sequence.
Yeah.
Does that a DNA sequence make you? Their father or not?
Man,
all right, we're about to go down a nerd hole here.
Yeah, we're about to go down a nerd hole, and then I'm going to start to wonder if I've got kids running around.
Fan theories, come on, man.
Yeah, I would say he's his father. I mean, if you create life, be it through DNA or the old-fashioned way, I would say you're the father.
And he's not his father, though.
No,
because he's not the one that created him. They had other people that actually
did DNA. Yeah, for the DNA. Boy,
nice.
that's a nerd question right there.
In the meantime, while Dee's coping with this, Ian Corzine.
I have to rethink everything now.
Yeah, Ian Corzine says he was looking for tips on like just general how-to people. I guess is the type of channels he was looking for inspiration on.
I have to rethink everything now. Like my entire world is shifted.
I just disrupted the whole Star Wars world right there.
Yeah.
But it's not because
there's a disturbance in the force.
Episode 8.
That's a good one. It wasn't his.
But
DNA.
anyway,
that's good.
The questions, the how-to. It's like
like educational channels, how-to photography, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, how-to photography.
Yeah, so that's one of the ones that he has listed here. Yeah.
Okay. Up and comers like photography, videography. Yeah, like Cody would be one that I'd watch for sure. He's more like, I mean, because Pete, the reason why his thumbnails are so good is he's a photographer first and then videographer, right? and that would fall into that category for sure. Are they giving exactly how-to tips? No, it's more how-to. Well, it's more lifestyle, sprinkle it into how-to and motivational. I think the big thing is what's going to distinguish you being different than everything else that's out there, and what's going to inspire you to be different than what's out there. Because just doing a how-to, here's how you actually change the lens on this camera, or this is how you do this, or this is fine. And then it's more of a resource channel, which my YouTube channel is a resource channel, and I'm okay with that, which is basically helping people, but they just come for the knowledge and not necessarily to connect you as a creator. So the ones that really crush it it's like creator lifestyle first, how-to is next. And that's one thing that I would look at for sure.
Nice. So for the winner here, did we have anybody? Did we have anybody that gave the right answer?
Yeah, who you call that one?
I don't know if you did or not. I stopped looking at the chat.
Was it? What was it?
Why don't we just pick the guy that said Jango Fett first? Because technically, it is his DNA, but it technically it's not his father. It's just a replicant of him.
So okay, so let's say this. He might not be his father. He might not be his father, but Jango Fett was his daddy.
I'll give him that. Yeah. Okay, I'll give him that. There you go.
So it looks like
hey, wait. Like, because if it's an exact copy of him, man, that just blew my mind. There's some Sigmund Freud thing going on, daddy issues. That's gonna be there.
Oh, good stuff.
No, someone said no father though, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Fly Ride, FLYRYDE is the was the first person.
Yeah, why don't you share your screen and I'll
perfect.
I'll take a look at that.
Okay.
You have somebody pulled up?
I just got the internal server monkey. Give me 1 second here.
I'm locked up here.
So let me refresh.
Here, I got to refresh here because your screen is not coming up. 1 second.
Yeah, that was like we were going down like a serious like technical nerd hole there. That was
because it's not awesome. When you get into clones. Yeah.
Oh, this looks interesting. All right,
ready?
Yeah, here we go. Yeah,
pull
it up.
There we are.
All right, Derral, here's what we got. Can you see that?
No. No. I just see your screen on mine, but I'm pulling it up right now. There's a lot of Fly Rides, but I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, so he's got 16,000 subscribers on the channel for reference. He's got like a green channel profile.
Okay.
So while he's pulling that up, I just want to say that your channel art looks really cool, and I like how you have the eye pulling down to the automotive lighting. I think that's pretty cool. In terms of like focusing the viewer's eye on what it is that you want them to see. I think that you're doing a fantastic job there. One thing that I personally would like to know, like if I was looking around and I ran across your channel, if I ran into your channel, one thing that I would personally like to know is like, what is it that you're doing with automotive lighting? Like, are you showing me how to put the lighting on my car? Are you selling it? Like what is it, that you're doing with automotive lighting? Outside of that though, I think that the channel art looks cool. And I think for the people that are watching this kind of stuff, that you're probably a home run in terms of the channel art, communicating what it is that you're doing outside of the specifics of what it is that you're doing with automotive lighting. The actual imagery itself looks killer. Derral?
Yeah, I was able to pull it up. I'm just checking this out here.
Okay. D, do you want to pull his up?
Okay. What's really cool, let me just go from here. I noticed that you have an Amazon affiliate link.
Are you pulling? Are you pulling this up on your screen too? Do you mean to make your screen live?
Yeah, I am. But it's okay. Like you can just keep it on his.
Okay.
But I noticed that you have like an Amazon affiliate link for Amazon Associate Program, so you leveraging that. I would definitely join the influencer program. There's a difference between, it's kind of like a one-up to the associate program. Now you might think you don't have enough subscribers for it, but you do, because you're very niche specific on tricking out cars. And so like as you're doing this stuff too, I think that would be one of the first things that I would look at is, the money aspect from it. I think the channel art's great. What I would do differently from it, just knowing channel art, under your car, even if you don't have it, I'd do the LED glow for it, and then change your automotive lighting to, well, I guess maybe it's just your automotive lighting is what you're changing. I don't know. I'd have to know what your content is, but it looks like you have the LED strips anyway. And I'd make it be more present to that, and then maybe change your color where it says automotive lighting to white, so it really pops out. And even though you're doing the green, but the green hue underneath the car would be epic from there. I think the big thing for me is I don't know like specifically what your channel's about outside of what you're saying there. But I do deduct, oh, okay, you're just tricking out your car, right? And that's what you're showing. And that's basically what I'm looking at specifically from there. And then let me give you a massive tip. And it's just off of what I see here. I want to see, like, okay, so I was in New York City, Times Square, and like 5 Nissans came down, and they were just revving their car, and they had their custom exhaust system. They were all blinged out with their lights. Their LEDs down there were just glowing. The music was blazing. The light turned green, and they were zipping through. The cops were like freaking out. That whole experience. That was cool. Like at the end of the day, everyone stopped looking at all the weird stuff that goes on in Times Square and looked at those cars, and watched them kind of zip on through. And so there is some fun with it, and you might already do this, but like if you can show more the community of people and what it means when you trick out your ride, and then too, maybe you need to take it so you're not in your shop, but you're in the car itself, and it's more engaging. So yeah, you have the shops, like the shop would be a character in your content. Your car is a character within the content, and I would treat it as a character. And as I get in the car, and you're going for a ride, you're like, okay, guys, I'm going to trick out. I had a great idea. I want to trick out the car. I was thinking about doing this. I don't know. What are you guys doing on your vehicles? I was thinking about, I saw this other thing at a race or whatever, and this really was so cool. And, you're engaging them on a level that they're like, hey man, you're saying words and things that not everyone's talking about unless you're totally into this. And then you zip on back to your shop, and you're like, okay, we're at the shop, guys. Oh, here's Dingledorf or whoever your friend is that's there. You have your little banter, and then you kind of break it down. So it's more of a story than just saying, hey, I'm in front of the camera and I got some big changes coming to my car. Like make it visually appealing, make it, engaging. Now, you might already do this. I didn't watch any videos, but I'm assuming that, some of them are just, hey, you're just giving some updates, or you're talking about this, or you're showing the install, but you want to weave in the story of what really gets people excited about your community, which is the comparing. Like I'm not a car guy. I nothing there, but it's all about comparing, right? You're trying to one up someone else, whether it's nitro, whether it's the exhaust system, whether it's like ramping up, it's the flashy stuff like LED lights, the sound systems. You're trying to one up, and so what you're trying to do is you're getting inspiration from other creators that have cars like this, but 99% of the time should, like, well, not 99%, I don't want to say that, but 99% of your videos, you should have you in your car talking as you're driving, or, going to an event. Like you're going, oh, we're going to go race over here at this place, whatever it is. It's just like taking the world, which is what you're in, and you're just, you're broadening up the excitement, because then when you're wanting to trick something out, then they're like, oh yeah, you got to do this, or I've seen this over here. You're getting all this engagement that's coming out, and you're taking it to a level where they can come in and they vicariously work through you, or be inspired by you, And that's where that true value is. And I can tell you that you're starting it. Like there wouldn't be 16,000 people that would subscribe to you if you didn't start it. But I'm saying to one up it, that you're getting more than 300 to 400 views per video. It's like you got to bring that culture into your videos, and it needs to be visually appealing. It needs to be blinged out like your car. That's what your content needs to be, is blinged out like your car, and it's that story that weaves in is where it's key.
Wow. So
that was really interesting.
So here's what I want you to do if you are you know, watching this live right now. That just happened like right at the 2-hour mark. So grab a pencil or a pen or a doodle marker like I use,
or a Dingledorf,
his buddy Dingledorf, and write down 2 hours so that you can come back and listen to what he just said.
Yeah, that was crazy.
There was so much information in that little segment of time.
Right.
Well, little nuances, right? Like, and this is where the magic happens, and this is why Derral's so good at what he does. Is he's talking about, you know, using the language of the people that you are talking to. So he's basically saying, you know, make it clear to everybody that is watching your videos that you are one of them, so that you can make that connection with them, right? Like just that by itself is so powerful in terms of connecting with the people that are watching your videos that it's ridiculous. Absolutely love it. So I really recommend that everybody just writes down, hey, this is the 2-hour mark, and you come down and you listen to that. And you watch that like 15 times if you have to, and literally write down everything that he just said and really analyze like every word that just came out of Derral's mouth, because that was full
gold.
Of so much gold. And it's probably going to take a bunch of listens to really soak in everything that just came out of his mouth. I'm going to go back and listen to it several times myself. I mean, there was so much juice that just came out of his mouth, and that sounded horrible.
Derral,
but yeah,
you see what I have to put up
Derral.
with, man. You see what I have to live with.
but yeah, I really want you to go back and listen to that though, because that was really powerful stuff right there.
Yeah,
yeah, good stuff, Derral. High five, dude. That was killer. Yeah, that was great. Woo.
That's why he's the exalted Grand Poobah.
Right. Yeah, that was fantastic.
The Grand Poobah.
Absolutely love it.
Exalted Grand Poobah.
That wasn't that like the Flintstones or something like that?
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, that was the name of their club. The Grand Poobahs, their club.
Nice.
That was, man. What a memory. Wow. Yeah, good memory.
Shannon Vlogs just said that she just dropped a super chat here. She said, thanks for that, Shannon. She said that she is so pumped for Vid Summit. Thanks, Derral, for sharing so many gems with us today. I love the 3x5 card concept. Yeah, that was great. You know, absolutely great.
I think the big thing is a lot of the stuff like is best practices. Like we talk about this, the importance of it, but I don't believe that content creators give it the importance of what it truly is. What it truly is at the end of the day is really understanding that these are the elements for audience growth. So the 3x5 card, or what I just gave, just barely, it's like these are basic things that you should be thinking about every time that you are trying to one up your video content, so that it engages even further with your audience. And so at the end of the day, it's the basics that have you succeed, and that's where the bulk of your time should be focused in on.
Fantastic. So for everybody that's just coming into the chat right now, we are, first off, if you enjoyed what just went down, definitely give this video a thumbs up. And I want you to share, if you have one YouTuber friend or two YouTuber friends, go ahead and share the stream with them right now so that they can come in and get some of this value, because it is just oozing value here right now during this stream. But if you're just joining the stream, I'm talking with Derral Eves. Dee and I are speaking with Derral Eves right now, and he's basically just giving like YouTube tips and just dropping like just all types of knowledge bombs here. And we're also talking about his conference, Vid Summit, that's coming up in October, to where you can get even more of this type of, like higher level knowledge when it comes to this stuff. Just things that, you might not currently be thinking of, and things that, that are, to some people are kind of like a, second nature because they've been doing it, for a long time or whatever. But for other people, like if you're just getting started, these might be things that you're not even like that aren't even in the wheelhouse yet that you have to develop. And that's where, events like Vid Summit and educating yourself on this stuff really comes into play. So real quick, so there's that second clip that we have for Vid Summit. I'd like to play that really quick, and then I just want to do a quick segment here to where we talk about Vid Summit just a little bit more, because everybody that's in the chat right now, of course, you want to learn how to do this stuff the best that you can so that you can get the results out of it, because if you're putting out all these videos anyway, you might as well get people watching them. You might as well get something from it. So so go ahead and drop that second clip, D. About Vid Summit, and then I just want to talk to Derral a little bit more about Vid Summit before we move into some more channel tips.
All right, let's roll it.
I got more value out of the first 2 hours than any other convention that I've ever been a part of.
If you missed out on Vid Summit, you missed the premier event for video creators of the year.
Vid Summit is the place to be if you want to learn how to grow your video business. It is a place where insiders teach each other the tricks of the trade.
Vid Summit for me, I mean, in the first 10 minutes, I got my money's worth.
I found co-creators, I found mentors.
No one here has an ego. Everyone here wants to teach. Everyone here wants to learn.
The presenters are available to us. They interact with us. They're so willing to give their information.
It's been surprising how timely and relevant and raw the information is, and I freaking love it. Be here.
Yeah,
that was nice.
Yeah, that was a good a good video for that.
Those were some fantastic testimonials.
They were.
Got his money back in the first 10 minutes.
Right.
That's heavy.
Right. But I mean that's how much, you know what I mean? Like
No,
that's
right.
how much value.
Yeah,
that's why
sure.
I came back, shook from the whole thing. I was just
Right.
I was just blown away by just how much awesome, there's like the meeting people side of it, which is great, and just the value and the information that you get out of it is just, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
What I'd like to share with you is that first testimonial that was there. That's one of my friends, Jared Meekum. He has an amazing YouTube channel called Ellie and Jared. It's kind of a vlog, and he'd get advice. Like I met his dad, and his dad's like, "Hey, I have a son that's starting YouTube, and he had like 20,000 subscribers or whatever it is." And so we had a strategy session because I loved his dad, and I come to love him as a person. And I'm like, "Hey, here's some ideas. This is what you need to do." So I kind of shaped some direction with them. They exploded. I mean, they went to 1 million subscribers very quickly, and emotionally, it was really awesome to see them grow. Anyway, I'm like, "Dude, you got to come to the Vid Summit. This is the place you need to be." And he's like, "Dude, I am so busy. I got videos to do. I got collabs to do. I got brand deals to do. I just don't got time." And he said within the first 2 hours, like he got more out of it than any other conference that he ever went to. And let me tell you what the 2 hours was, because I was there. I was present. Basically, I
would hope so. Your event, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Here it was. and I went there and I says, "Jared, you need to go to this presentation. This would be perfect for what you guys are doing." He went to the presentation, and that was a 45-minute presentation. He come out and he's like, my head literally exploded like 5 times during that, and I'm having all these thoughts of what to do. And the idea is don't do brand deals. Like create your own brand or your own product and make that your brand deal. And he's like, instead of getting one paycheck, I mean, I can literally establish another business. He's like, "Oh man, this is so great." And he goes, "Man, only if I knew someone that could source in China." And I says, "Oh, do you want to find someone to source in China? Let me introduce you to these 3 guys over here, because that's what they do." And so, do you know what happened? Is they came together and they started talking strategy. He went and got his visa to go to China, and 2 months later, he was literally in China looking at different ideas for products and different types of fulfillment. And then guess what? Like 6 months later after that, he literally transformed his YouTube channel and established another business outside of that. And I'm telling you, I'm not going to give you the income or anything like that, but has extremely changed his life. Let's just put it that way.
Nice. Fantastic. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing, right? Is when you stuff yourself into an event that is full of people that are like doing things,
not just doing things, creative people thinking of ways to up their game.
Problem solvers,
right?
Yeah, an entire place full of problem solvers.
Right.
Yeah, magic can come out of it.
And people who have already gone through it.
Yeah.
People who have solved problems.
Yeah. Right.
Right. You're dealing with you have access to top people who have already gone through this.
Right.
They can introduce you to other people that can help you do it.
Yeah. Peaches in the Flock says, you guys are amazing. My channel review was hilarious and extremely helpful 2 weeks ago. Working even harder since. Jumped from 40 plus subs at that time to now 171. Congratulations on your progress. Says, feel like I'm starting to get it. Thank you guys, and thank you, Derral, for coming on. Fantastic. Glad you're finding value here, Peaches and Flock. That's what we absolutely love to hear.
I just want to say, like, just what Derral said just then, that little nugget of, instead of looking for brand deals, make your own
brand deal.
Right? Like, that's such a tiny little thing, but it's like when you like wrap your head around that, like that's huge.
Yeah.
And that can change your entire perspective of what you're doing, like in your focus. Thanks, Derral. You just kind of like,
absolutely.
Yeah, a little light bulb just went off for me. So
see, and that's fun. That's funny, Derral, because this is my brother, right? And like I did this with Tuber Tools like a long time ago, and he's like just catching this up. But you had to tell him in order for it to make sense, right?
Well, now he's like, let's go all in on Tuber Tools.
I know, right? Yeah, I know, right?
Well, here's the thing, and this is, like you said earlier, Derral, it's the people who are giving you the information.
Yeah.
Like you can listen, you can find the same video, the same information over and over and over again with different people. But when you find the person that you resonate with, when you find the person that says it the way that you go, oh, I get it.
Right.
It's just, it always takes that one person to turn on the light, and you're just like, oh, okay, now I get it.
It does, but you gotta realize the people that are crushing it, they don't have time in their own mind to improve. Like they're just trying to survive. They're like in survival mode. And then two, what's different about this conference is these are individuals that aren't educators. They're not professional speakers. The bulk of them are just practitioners of what they do. And then they're able to share case study and it's like, hey, we had this idea and we wanted to get here. And this is what we did. This is what we did right. This is what we did wrong. This is the things that we actually learned along the way. And here are the results. Now go replicate it. Now, I'm here to tell you that every single person that's on Vid Summit, I'm super excited for, because I'm the one that asked them to come speak. And I was very specific. Like, Nick is actually speaking. Sorry, D, but Nick's coming to speak.
Okay, wait until next year. D's taking over the favorite Nimmin spot. So so
next year I'll get you, and I'll hold
how that goes.
I'll hold a mobile thing next year.
But it was very specific, and I don't know if you remember this, Nick, but I have one of these weird memories that I remember a lot. But we had a conversation about coming to the first Vid Summit, and I mentioned this to you in the conversation. I says, hey, I know that you're growing and things are going there, and like you have the talents and abilities, but I want you to go and learn and experience Vid Summit for what it truly is, and then I want you on stage next year.
I do remember that.
And I says, I want you to share what you're passionate about, and I knew what that was. And what are you presenting this year?
Yeah, basically I'm helping people kind of get the foundational elements together, because one of the things that we talk about here in this live stream every single Saturday is basically I don't know if like empowering is the right word, but basically I want to give people the ammo. I want to give people the information that they need in order to actually be able to have a chance, because there's so much stuff to learn. There's so many obstacles that people have to overcome, and one way that I look at it is there's a lot of content creators that like we I have like a graphic design background, so I have like a little bit of artistic background, a little bit of video production stuff. My brother has tons of video production stuff, so we came into this armed with that stuff, but there was still so much more stuff that we needed to learn, right? And because of that, like, still learning, yeah,
right.
And because of that, like, I know those hurdles that are there, and I know that a lot of people like it that are coming into it, and they don't have any of those advantages when they first come into it, but they're trying to get this ball rolling. Like, like it's kind of like my mission that I'm on, to basically give people that information so that they can have that chance, and that's the same exact stuff that I'm going to be sharing with people at Vid Summit.
No, there you go.
Well, that's exactly the point that I'm getting at is I had an idea. I want to do something because this is really, really important. But ultimately, when my dad taught me that you can literally learn something for everyone, and if you're an active learner, if you're a seeker of truth and knowledge, you're a seeker of knowledge and information, then you're going to see things differently. And so what I need to do is I want to make a very strong point, but I just need maybe 20 seconds to do that. So maybe talk amongst yourselves for a minute, and I'll come back and I'll make that point. Does that sound good?
Yeah,
that
sounds
Great.
fantastic.
So while Darrell's thinking about that, I want to take a moment and just say we lost Burt Reynolds.
Yes,
we lost the bandit.
Yeah, just a quick moment of silence.
Moment of
for
silence.
The bandit. Yes.
Moment of silence for both Arbel the bandit, Burt Reynolds.
Yes. And D bringing in like a nice somber tone, of course.
Right.
Derailing. That's what I'm talking about right there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a moment of silence, which I'm not giving right now, actually. So give me 1 second.
Rest in peace, Burt.
All right, rest Burt.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, he was like a childhood hero, man. Like growing up.
Likewise, yeah.
Right? The car
Smoking,
driving,
the
Cannonball Run.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Man.
You know what? I might actually download some of that and get my binge watch on, just out of like a,
they have Smoking and the Bandit on Netflix.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, over here. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you gotta
I haven't ran across.
Oh, you gotta search for it.
Oh my gosh, you can search for stuff that they're not presenting to you.
Yes.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, you have to go in and look for it, and because I don't know how it works over in America, but in Thailand they've got us like in this little presentation trap.
Yeah,
and
where
it's
they show us like a limited amount of things. Yeah.
Right. So you actually have to go in and search for stuff.
You just opened up my Netflix experience. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I thought you were here for other stuff, but hey.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah. And somebody's about to get a high five and a fist bump. Darrell, you ready?
Let's do it.
All right.
Boom.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. High five and fist bump for that.
Look at that.
Yes.
That's how we roll.
Yeah. Derral repping the NIMMINATI. Yes.
Darrell.
Let me kind of explain here. Let me explain first off.
Hey, Darrell, I'm going to interrupt you and ask you to stand still for just a moment so I can take a picture of this right here. Fantastic. Thank you. I love it.
That reminds me, like when my wife or my kids actually FaceTime me, I'll answer the phone like this. And they're like, "Is he frozen? Is it bad?" That's our like joke. So whenever we FaceTime each other, everybody's just like, everything's going in the background, but they're like,
nice.
Okay, so you want my point? So like literally, you can learn something from everyone that you come in contact with. Now, Nick, the reason why you're speaking at Vid Summit is I 100% want to learn from you. Like seriously. And if I am so arrogant to think that I know everything, then I'm lost. Like I will literally be one of these people that will literally die with that generation. Sure. But if I'm on the quest for being better and from learning, you can literally come up with tactics and strategies that you might find from just different sources. And you're one of the source that I find information from. That's why I'm wearing this shirt, not just because you gave it to me, but like seriously, you did something in your videos, and I'm going to give credit where credit's due. It's not me that's doing it, but it's like you brought your CTA up right at the beginning of your videos, and I'm like, that's brilliant. Like that right there is literally brilliant because you're getting a soft say, hey, if you're interested in these type of videos, make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss out, or the subscribe button and bell notifications. Like you like totally went from it. So what did I do? I'm like, I want to do that. So I started doing that, and I saw higher conversions from it because I knew that it's not that I'm trying to copy you to become Nick Nimmin. I'm not Nick Nimmin. I'm whatever it is, but I'm a part of the NIMMINATI. But
that's right. You
that's
are
right.
That's right.
But the big thing is, at the end of the day, when it comes back down to it, it's like you can learn something from everyone that you come in contact with. And I want people at the Vid Summit, the people that are there, that says, look, even though that you have 1,000 subscribers and I have 5 million, there's something of value that you might bring that might make me better as a creator, as a person, as a business, as a brand. That's what the culture of Vid Summit is, and that's that openness and the conversations that happen. That it's not belittling someone. They don't say, well, how many subscribers do you have? Well, I can't talk to you because I only talk to people that have 5 million subscribers.
Right.
I want those people to go to Playlist Live. That's where I want them to go.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is that's one thing that I noticed last year is there's not one conversation to where when you get into the conversation people are like hey, how many subscribers do you have? Like that's not a prerequisite to talking to somebody. It's not a hey, what's going on? I'm Nick. Oh, hey Nick, what's going on? How many subscribers do you have? Like it's just not, what I mean? That's just not natural conversation in the first place, but it's just not, like that's not something that happens. So the magic in my opinion of that is like you were talking about with the, like it doesn't matter if you have, 100 subscribers, if you don't even have a channel yet. And you're like, hey, I want to come into this and I want to make sure that I'm arming myself with the information to make sure that I can really, to have a go at this. Like, you're going to be rubbing shoulders and having conversations with people, like Derral was just saying, that have, 1 million subscribers, have 5 million subscribers. And you're going to be looked at as a peer. You're not going to be looked at as somebody that's like, oh, they don't know anything.
Right.
I'll tell you what, there's one moment at Vid Summit that emotionally I was like very ecstatic about. And so let me just give you this story. So this kid, his name's CJ, and his mom says, hey, we want to get you a birthday present. We can take you to Disneyland, we can take you over here, whatever. We want to make this super special for you. And he's like, I want to go to Vid Summit. And like, wow. I mean, seriously, like that's what he wanted. That's what he wanted for his birthday. I mean, he's like 13 years old. Like it's just crazy. Right, that a 13-year-old that's what they wanted. He was had a quest for knowledge, and I met him there, and I'm like, hey, this is really cool. But this kid had the guts to stand up and ask Gary Vaynerchuk a question.
Yeah, I remember
that.
Were you
man. In that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was just kind of like like Gary's response to that sent chills through like the whole crowd. Yeah, that was great.
Hold on, is that the one you told me about where Gary told him people to subscribe?
Let him finish. Oh. Let him finish. Oh. Yeah.
Well, you're like still in my story.
My bad.
He does that, man. That's kind of his role in this whole thing.
Hold on. I just want to tell you, you guys here. I just want to say something. You guys get me so excited, right? Like I get so wound up over here. I've got Nick sitting here. I've got you on 2 of my screens, sometimes 3 of my screens. You guys are like,
that's way too many screens to have.
And I'm fired up. I'm excited. I'm talking about Vid Summit. I want to get on a plane tomorrow morning and take off. I'm just like excited, man. So yeah, go ahead, tell your story. Sorry.
Okay. So he had the courage to get up, and this is the question that he asked Gary Vee. He's like, hey, I'm really trying to make things happen on my channel. And, I really need more subscribers, and, I just don't get the social interaction, aspect of it. Can you give me any advice on that? And literally Gary goes, well, subscribers, we got that taken care of for you. So you don't need to worry about that right there. And literally after that video came out, it was like 30,000 people subscribed to him like overnight. Yeah. And it changed his life. Like he literally on ad revenue is making more than his parents make. I mean, in some aspects of it, but it's pretty awesome. But the point that I'm getting at is what Gary mentioned next. It's like, don't focus on the subscriber, focus in on the person that's watching the videos. And I want everyone to realize this. I'm going to go more in depth on my presentation at Vid Summit, but I don't think of subscribers. And any of my clients that we work with, we don't think of subscribers. We think of viewers, and we have them into 2 categories: subscribers and non-subscribers, but they're viewers, right? And they should be treated a little bit differently. And ultimately, at the end of the day, there's a reason why YouTube toggles that you can see who's subscribed and how many views you get, and who's non-subscribed, how many views you get. And I want everyone, if there's one assignment that you do today, is you toggle your last 28 days, and I want to see your jaw drop of how many subscribers didn't watch your videos.
Yeah, that's
how many views did not come from subscribers.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I talked to Dee about also.
Yes,
is that that making sure that like every time somebody like comes into a new video, that that you kind of explain what it is that's going on, because majority of the people that are coming in are people that are not subscribed to your channel. Maybe they've seen you before, but there's a good chance that they haven't as well. So making sure that you're making everything clear for those people as well, and then for the insiders, Yeah, I mean, like that's where you're doing, you know, all of the fun stuff in terms of like NIMMINATI, you know, as an example, and you know those kind of things, so that they get it. But in terms of like, you know, those initial people coming in, just making sure everything is like clear for those people. But yeah, that's a fantastic tip, Derral.
Thank you.
Well, you look good in that shirt.
You do.
Let me tell you, we just had a comment come in Farside. I can't read it.
So
you see that one?
Is this a foldable flight? Yeah, it says Derral.
No, I can't read which one that one. But anyway, all right, let's move on to a good question here.
Yeah, I see. Foldable Flight says, Derral, I love your content. My first video was my entry to your creator consulting contest. Would you take a look at my channel? The other one is, hey Nick, amazing live stream today. Does Derral have any tips or thoughts on 24-hour live streams, particularly music channels?
Okay. Wow. 24/7 live streams are very interesting. You're starting to see a lot more pop up. It depends on your niche. You know, you're in music. You have some streaming that's going on there. It's interesting for discovery right now. I wouldn't say there's loopholes, but it is being promoted differently than like a live stream's just being promoted differently than video content. That's just kind of the way that it is. I think things will start to change here in the next few months on it because of people, I won't say like me, but I did a live stream. This is going to shock everyone, but I did a live stream for 5 months and 26 days straight.
Nice.
Just to test some stuff out on a particular channel. And I have found that there's some advantages and disadvantages from doing it. There's a disconnect right now on what to do with the live stream after it's done. Because yeah, you might have some great engagement and, you know, great average view duration, whatever. But there's some other indicators that is a little interesting from it. And so that being said, I think there's some problems that they're trying to address. I'm actually not next week, the week after, I'll be in a room with the people that actually do the live streaming, like the project. That they're basically the project managers will be in a small little meeting for YouTube. And once I'm able there, I'm going to ask very pointed questions, and I can get back with you on it. But if you're putting out music and you want to do a 24-hour music channel, right now what I would do is have it on 2 different channels, because it will affect your other content in a negative way, depending on the issues that are facing. Now, some streamers on YouTube are experiencing some issues more in the gaming world. And I think it's really how things are discovered, but actually how things are consumed after the fact is where the problem is. So
yeah, I'm experimenting with that right now on my channel as well, in terms of just kind of sunlighting the videos. So basically, once it's done, I'm making them unlisted right now, just so that, you know, people still, you know, once they get the emails, they can still come in and watch them that way. But in terms of the actual replay, so that I can, you know, see what happens there. Another question that came in.
And how long have you been doing that for? Just as unlisted, just a couple weeks?
Yeah, it was only 2, and then when I wasn't here for the last 2 weeks, I didn't even stream for those 2 weeks. So that's going to kind of mess everything up. So I'm kind of basically going to restart it. I'm actually going to make this one public.
Could you do one more thing for me? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Could you do one more thing? But could you go in your back catalog and select four other live streams and just put them as unlisted?
Okay.
And see what happens.
Yeah. Well, they're unlisted.
I'm
they're
just
unlisted.
On that.
Oh, you mean ones that are public and then make them unlisted?
Yeah.
Four of them from somewhere in the back.
Yeah. Do the 4 that are the lowest, like the lowest numbers. Just do that for me, and then we can talk privately on it.
Okay. Sure. Yep.
I just need some validation on some stuff.
Okay.
So that'd be a good test.
Is there a time limit that you want me to give it? Like you know, because obviously I'm not going to take them off tonight and then hit you up tomorrow. Like, hey,
we'll talk at VidSummit.
Okay, cool, perfect. You know, okay, got it.
Just do it within the next couple days. You know, like next week sometime.
Okay.
But you need to analyze which ones aren't performing the best, and those are the ones that you want to unlist.
Okay, perfect. I'll do it. Another question, and this is like the serious stuff right here. This is the stuff, like this is getting down to like brass tacks here. So I hope you're ready for this question, Derral, because we're talking specifics here. Okay, you ready? Super technical right here. You ready? Okay. This is from MMA Pixels. What's the high score on the Miss Pac-Man behind you?
Ho, tough questions.
Oh, wow. I'd have to check. So I actually have an arcade at my house, and I think the high score is there, and not here. This one has, I believe, 40 games on it.
Nice.
Give me 1 second. Let me find out real quick.
Okay.
I shouldn't say my keyword. The only way I can turn it on is by talking to have it turn on. And I don't know if I want to say my keyword over this, so because it could turn off my my equipment, because I usually walk in, say my keyword, and then it just turns everything on. Like I'm like in automation paradise over here.
All right. So another.
Let me see. I think I can mute. Like, can I mute myself? Let's see.
Yeah, I think
I'd have to mute over there.
Okay. Well, we can skip that.
Let's not even worry about it.
Okay, yeah, we can skip that one.
We have like 30 or 40 games on that one. Miss Pac-Man, I do love, but not as much as Donkey Kong. And I love a lot of different games. My game of choice is we have a 2-player machine that we modded that plays Mortal Kombat. So me and my boys, and my daughter, before she moved out of the house, we like totally would have Mortal Kombat tournaments, and we still do in our basement, our little arcade that we have down there.
So
and I will say this: when I first started, it was like, it was the whole fatalities was just amazing. But my kids are picking up on it like very good. So I have one of my kids, Thatcher, who can beat me maybe twice out of 10 games, maybe 3 times out of 10 games. So, I mean, we're really good. But now when my brothers come over, I'm one of 10 kids. I have 7 brothers.
Big family. Wow.
And when they come and we have the tournament, like there is little blood, not the blood on the screen, but there's little blood. You punch each other like we did back in the day. But I have a brother that whatever video game, it doesn't matter if it's Fortnite or what, it's whatever video game he touches, he becomes amazing. And I'm like, dude, like do this for a living. He's like, no, I'm a math teacher.
Oh.
And I'm like, jeez, do math videos or something. He's like, nah, that's too much work. But anyway, but yeah, so I don't even know what the score is on that, but right. I can literally play for about 20 minutes to half an hour.
Nice.
On one game.
Nice. So I got another question here. This is from Armonti. Says, I need advice on my channel content or what I may be doing / not doing. Some videos do better than others, but how can I continue to see growth? So let's take that to like an analytical standpoint, because of course you'd have to like watch content in order to like really get into that and all of that. So what are some things that Armonti can look into in the analytics in terms of seeing what they may or may not be doing correctly?
Listen, the dashboard that is created in the new Creator Studio is amazing. It tells how your video is performing over the last couple videos, what indicators they're looking at. It's very specific what they're looking at. That's what I would spend my attention and time on, is minutes watched, views, and so on. But if you hit, there's a tab over of reaching viewers. It will show you impressions for click-through. That's the first thing that I look at, because you can always improve that. And then I would look at your average view duration. And I know that for years we'd say, oh, minutes watched. And it's true, minutes watched is important, but it's like how many people start your video, actually finish it. That's what you need to improve on. And so what's cool about it is you can click on each individual video and you can see where they dip down, where it pops up. You need to literally click on it and it starts playing your video of what's said. There's like exit words that people said. I was on with a client and he's like, man, I can't figure out, like after 3 minutes of this video, like 80% of the people left. And I clicked on it and it says, okay, here's the tip. And so he gave the tip, but he went rambling on for 7 more minutes and gave better tips, but he just basically gave the tip that was advertised in the title and the thumbnail. And so after that, they go, oh, I got my information. I'm gone. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
What else is going to give value to?
For sure.
And so it's really, really seeing the nuances of what's being said, what's, you know, how people are engaging and trying to get into the head of that viewer.
Yeah, and with that said too, because that just sparked something in my brain. Another thing that I think is important to look out for, because you just mentioned the exit words, things that make people leave, is, you know, like a lot of people, just something to keep in mind, like a lot of people, especially in like how-to type content, or like if you're sharing type, you know, like tips and things like that, like as soon as you give an indicator that your video is done, you know, that can, in most cases, that's going to cause people to split too. Like, you know, as an example, you know, like if you were watching one of my videos, and I said, you know, and that is, you know, the 5 ways that you do this, that, and the other thing, what I'm telling you at that point in time is that the video is finished. You know, so just keep that in mind in terms of like how you're structuring, like look for things like that when you are looking in your audience retention reports in terms of like, what is it specifically that I'm doing in these sections of my videos to make people leave. Niche fam. Yeah, go ahead, D. Go ahead.
Oh, I've got a question.
Hey, wait.
Yep.
So this is what I love. So Fly Ride, you know how we gave him some advice?
Yeah.
Check this out. This is how quick he is. You are the person that needs to come to Vid Summit. I love action takers.
Yeah.
We gave some advice. Look what he did.
Yeah. Love it.
Night and day difference, man.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely love it.
Learn what, why, and how of auto lighting, right?
Yeah, fantastic.
On it.
Yeah, like that's something that like we'll talk about that even after like we finish the live stream, is we'll talk about like the people that did that. Like when people, you know, like when we give a tip and then they, you know, they're like in the chat and like, hey, we changed this, and they're taking that action in real time. Like that's awesome, because you know those are the people that want it.
The Vid Summit, because that's who I am. Like, look, you learned something and you went and applied it.
Yeah.
I don't want the people that says, oh yeah, I'm learning something, but they never do anything with it. Like those guys can go to a different conference. I want people that will learn something and actually apply it, because that synergy of, hey, I'm here, I'm ready to go. Just give me the advice, give me what you need. That's who I want to be surrounded by. I want to be surrounded by people that will look and see what they need to correct, and they'll be willing to correct it, not be over analyzing it and say, oh, well, maybe they know what they're talking about, but they're like, no, let's give it a try. Let's give it a test. Like you're testing something right now on your channel that most people would never do. They're like, oh no, never do that.
Right.
Never make it unlisted. You know, it's just like, you know, you're trying things. You're trying to discover what works. And these are the type, like this Fly Ride guy, okay, Fly Ride, you're officially coming to the Vid Summit.
Oh,
I'm going to give you a ticket.
Boom.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Right there. Right there
is what I love about the community, that people that will just do it. So you got to get yourself there. You got to pay for your room, and you can probably find someone that you can, you know, find a room with. But I will get you an attendee pass at the Vid Summit, and it will come with some Gary V shoes, because it's all about the hustle and taking action.
Look at that.
Right. Fly Ride, that's what I'm talking about right there.
Drive
well done,
that,
my man.
Drive that car there if you have to.
Yeah,
you know
right?
what? And if you don't own that car,
and make a video on the way.
Let's take a look. See.
And if you don't own that car, steal it and drive it. Yeah, he just said, I'm there. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you want him to do? Reach out to you, Derral? Email or
connect to me on Twitter, and I'll DM you the information that you need, man. So
right.
There you go, man.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yep. Awesome. Love seeing that.
Yeah.
The next question is from, and real quick, high five, fist bump, Derral. That was awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
Awesome. Niche Fam TV wants to know, they say they just joined in. They say, Derral, is there a way for Vid Summit newbies to pick which speakers to listen to? I want to make sure that I make the most out of the ticket.
So first off, thank you for coming, and I'm excited to have you there. I actually seen your channel, and it's great. I'm really excited to have you be a part of the culture. I would literally, the way that we break it up is I try to position it for each session is geared to a certain type of person that's attending. And generally, you know, there will be one on ad buying or Facebook or some, you know, basically different venues. So there would be one for you as a content creator. I would just do this. Make sure, number one, you get the replay so you can watch every session that you want. Number 2 is out of the titles and the descriptions that are for the speakers. I would definitely pick what would be best for you. And let me just I'm going to go ahead and let me just make sure that we can do this here, because I think at the end of the day, each session is different, and it goes after a specific demographic. So I'm going to go ahead and hit pause here real quick.
Okay.
And then we're going to come down to schedule. So right here, like, we kick off really early. But it's like, if you're interested in growing a Patreon audience, I would go to Steve. If you're interested in inspiring to create something creative, go to Roberto. Like, those are two different niches, right?
Steve's in the chat right now.
Like, say again.
Steve's in the chat right now.
Oh, Steve's in the chat?
Yeah.
Like, Steve, like, when I reached out to him, he's doing things on Patreon that I'm like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant. And I want to learn from him. That's the whole reason why I had him. I like he's doing something with courses and stuff that brings epic value to his community. And like, that's the source of his revenue, is his community. It's awesome. But ultimately, at the end of the day, well, and our keynote right here, when there's a keynote, everybody goes to that one. But like Jack, he's the CEO, founder of Patreon. So excited to have him there. And then after that, it's just like, do you want to know about distribution strategies that disrupts Hollywood? Go to Jeffrey Harmon. Or if you want to understand YouTube, the family business, go to Melissa. If you want to do future of esports and live gaming, which I would encourage everyone everyone, literally everyone.
Got the zoom there.
Should be very paying attention to gaming and live streaming. It's just crazy. And so whether you go to it or not, you better go to this session here. It's not really filled out, but it's like this, like, sports teams now are buying esports teams because it's that big, where there's a ton of money. But like, literally, list goes on. But everyone that's on here, if you miss this session right here, key foundational elements of growing a YouTube channel, you're missing out, because that's
right.
Where I'm going to be right there, is checking out Nick's presentation for sure. But ultimately, you get the best out of it. It's like, figure out where you're weak and where you need to learn, and that's where you should go. And we're all at different levels. We're at different stages. We all have things that are differently. But even if you're strong in a certain area, you might want to look at, hey, would I be able to learn something new from this person? Is there a tactic or strategy that will resonate with me to help me motivate me there? So that's kind of the way I'd weigh it out. So I'm literally going to learn from everyone, because I'm going back through the replays 100% to see what I can learn from everyone that's on stage.
Yeah, and with that too, in terms of, having to make that decision, that's a cool thing about the replays that Derral was just talking about, is basically, you get to go into the session so that you can like listen to the person, you can ask questions and things like that. After that, you can talk to them in the hallway, if you want to, explore deeper on something that they happen to mention. And then any of the sessions that you happen to miss because you were in that one session, then you can just watch that one later in the replay. So you're not going to miss out on any of the information. It's just the ones that are going to be the most important to you based on what it is that you're trying to accomplish is what you need to go into, so that you can get that real-time interaction in terms of getting your questions answered and things like that, like right there on the spot. So when you leave with that information that you came in from that particular topic.
I want to show you a couple more, and the only reason why I want to do this is because this will help you understand what the opportunity truly is. So there's two guys right here, Adam and Rock. And they have a YouTube channel called I Love Basketball. And what the whole thing is, hey, if we do a basketball tutorial teaching people how to do things to better their game, they can do it. And Rock played professionally and stuff like that. And so it's like, hey, if you want to up your basketball game, do it. But the whole thing is their YouTube channel is about giving kids and coaches and parents what they're looking for. And then it's giving them more information that's packaged differently, where they can go in and buy it as an individual product or a membership. And I'm here to tell you that they have an amazing audience, but it's the 7-figure sales funnel that they're using these videos that bring people in to make them millions of dollars, teaching people how to do basketball. And what I love about that is like they would be showcased on different stages, around the world, but not on YouTube stages, because it's like, hey, they're more marketers that use YouTube, and that's what I am. That's what I am, and I want more people like that, because then creators like, oh my gosh, I'm totally geeking out from this. And this is this guy right here. I'm going to show you. So Ben Solons is coming, and what I love about Ben is he created a channel because he says, you know what, I like Teslas, and I'm going to create an automated funnel where I can actually give people information about Teslas. Anything that comes out, it's going to be Tesla, Teslanomics, and I'm going to have an automated system to recommend that at a point in time that they're ready to buy a Tesla, that they will actually use my affiliate link to buy a Tesla. He sold $11 million in Teslas.
What?
He's the number one seller, the independent seller for Teslas. And what does he get? I think he has 2 or 3 Roadsters that we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars are given to him in prizes, in the sense of doing it. They don't give him money, but they give him cars. And it's crazy, but it's like, hey, things can be automated. Things can be like, when he uploads a video, this is what's really cool, and he's going to teach, but it's going to automatically trigger things to do things automatically. So it's going to automatically tweet. It's like, and you could do that right within YouTube. But just because you upload a video, you can create what they call a zap, and it basically sends data to different platforms and services out there. And it also, for him, it triggers an email. Like, it literally, he does it in a way that it automatically triggers an email saying, oh, I just released a new video. He doesn't have to go to the video or the email platform and start creating all these things that they're saying, hey, I got a new thing, because that wastes time. And what he does is says, no, I upload a new video, it automatically triggers, it pulls the information where I know that it's going to be to create that email, and it brings people into that video. And then after they watch the video, then it triggers a sequence of video or a sequence of emails and different things from there. And so, like, things can be automated. And what I love about Ben is, like, he was telling me about that 85% of his business is automated.
Nice.
Wow. And he was saying, and he started laughing. He says, and right now, my car's driving automated down the freeway where we have this conversation, and I'm on my laptop. I'm like, you're not supposed to be on your laptop. But he goes, nope, it's all automated, man. My whole life. I want to get it so that it's 99.9% automated, and I can enjoy 99.9% of my life doing the things that I want.
That's so smart.
Man.
So smart. And that's the Teslanomics guy, right?
Yeah.
Ben. Nice. Yeah.
That's the session you need to go to.
Yeah, I'll
think
definitely be in there.
There's like a lot of sessions that I'm really, really excited about. Crap, you're presenting at the same time. There will be a recording.
Oh, yeah.
So you see here, you're at the same time as him. But I'll make sure it's recorded for you, and you can watch it. But I'm sorry, I will not be at the TubeBuddy panel. I will be literally in that room, salivating and taking notes. Automation's a very big deal for me right now.
Yeah,
so.
that's where the magic happens, so to speak, in terms of freedom, right? That automation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll definitely be watching that on the replay, and I'll just, because I'm going, so I'll just talk to the guy in the hallway. Just do it the easy way, right? And be like, hey, let me, give me some insight into what you're doing.
Automate me, bro.
Pumped. He's so pumped to be there.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. So El Jefe reviewed, just saying that he's going for 4,000 subs today. Congratulations there, El Jefe, making it happen there, boss. That is awesome. All right, just hopping in the chat here really quick. Autopilot making money sounds fantastic, says Car Galaxy Studios. Launchpad Astronomy says Ben's channel is great, fantastic. Jeff Eatley says congrats, El Jefe reviews. Yeah, Jeff is also going to be there taking pictures. And I saw earlier while you were talking, Derral, Jeff is going to be taking pictures of the Fly Ride's car. He said,
Oh, that's
hey,
cool.
yeah, because Flyride lives in LA, so he's definitely going to be able to come, so he doesn't have to worry about plane tickets or hotels.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah, so
but
Flyride.
he has to worry about the interstate.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you got to worry about traffic. You might as well just fly in. It probably gets you there quicker.
Like horrendous, man.
It is.
But
yeah. So he's going to be getting.
I didn't know Jeff was coming. I'm excited. I wanted him to be there. Like he did some amazing photos, and he's like, I got to see if I can swing it. So I didn't hear that he was coming. So
yeah, he just said in the chat here. Yeah, he just said in the chat here that he's going to be there taking pictures. So yeah. So are you making your live streams unlisted to me? Okay, so that was for me. Okay, fantastic. So let's get some more YouTube specific questions here for Derral.
I've got
he's here. Yeah, D, go.
I've got a technical question for Derral.
Let's hear it.
Derral, your new studio looks amazing. First of all, what camera are you using right now? Because you are so crisp and clear, and you're coming through. I mean, I know it's Skype with the NDI, but you are so crisp. It is unbelievable on my end. What are you using?
So David Foster with Geeks Life set this up for me, and I had very interesting specs. I wanted a camera that could shoot 4K, 60 frames per second. And he's like, no one wants to see you in 4K. He's 60 frames per second. I'm like, hey, but I want to be able to stream, 6 megabits up and down, and I have a really good internet here, and I'm like, I want to max it out. And he's like, overkill. But anyway, when we were setting it up, he's like, oh dude, this is cool. This is great. He's all getting excited, and now he's doing the same. And he's doing things remotely, wirelessly, and he's doing more megabits up to YouTube than I am now. But this one is a Blackmagic design box, and so it's like it's a unit. It's the Ultra HD, and so it's just a monitor that you're able to do, and it has a lens on the front. And it was really important for me to get a shallow depth of field, and so we have a prime lens on it right there. What the cool thing is, though, is I have other cameras that are all around. I got this view right here. Like I do stuff, where I'm able to go from there. And I have audio. I just didn't turn that audio on. But we have different cameras, that's doing different things. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 cameras in the 2 studios that we have here.
Nice.
I'm about to add another one, just to get a couple things. But I've been doing. Let me show you real quick. So I have like these comments that can pop up. This is just testing my comments that's there. But like I literally have it where I can just hit a button and the camera will go to whatever scene that I want.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Great.
And solo.
Nice.
Job of the Fett.
Nice.
But it's just like going to the different moments. I don't know why that's not focusing very well on that one. Might be off a little bit. There we go. But that that's the cool thing. And for me, it's all about live. I think live is an important concept. What we're doing here right now is key. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about. Like seriously, at the end of the day, it's like getting it set up. And I have some very specific goals that I'm going to achieve this year and next year that deals with this type of setup. And I haven't made them public yet or anything like that, but there's a very, very deep strategy I'm going after. And it's 100% in the live realm. And it's going to be fun, and I'm trying to get it to where it needs to be, but that's the setup I have there. And then I use PTZ optics camera. So what I was doing with that is a PTZ optics 20X camera. I love PTZ optics. Paul Richards is one of the most amazing guys out there of knowing streaming and stuff like that too. They've been great to give us cameras to use at the Vid Summit. Like we were the first conference that actually started using their cameras, and now they're really exploding out from there. And then two, they're coming back, and they've been great to give us the cameras that we're actually shooting at Vid Summit, which is awesome.
Nice.
But they're really, really good. You can buy the new ones that they're NDI based, so that you can do everything over. Very, very cool. The latency is really, really low, and so it's really cool. But yeah, that's my setup.
Man,
So-
I mean, it looks amazing, just amazing.
Yeah, we're gonna have to bring David over here, give him a trip to Thailand to help us out on the live setup.
Yeah. Hey,
Listen, for builds out there, and he's building stuff for some of the, he can't even talk about it, for some of the biggest people out there. And he has a build coming up and I'm really excited to see how it all comes together. But the reality is it's like you got the gear, and he's like, dude, like, don't get me wrong. He goes, look, OBS is great. Like, you're using that right now, right? You're doing OBS right now.
Yeah, Streamlabs OBS.
It's great, and it fulfills with what you want. And there's different things for different people. Like for me, I needed to be able to, and this is something that is very important to me, but I needed to be able to record on all sources. So there's a time, like we actually had a huge YouTuber come into my office because he's moved close to me, and he's like, hey dude, I don't have my studio set up, can I do it? And we did, and we recorded like on six cameras, and we recorded all at the same time, and you could do auto switching and stuff like that, but we did it so that his editor would have 6 versions of whatever we were doing.
Nice.
And it's just amazing. And so for me, I can run as many cameras as I have output for my amazing server there, but 2, I can bring in remote guests. So like I'm coming in on Skype right now through OBS. The quality's not where I want it to be. There's some audio issues is where I don't necessarily want it to be, but that's the nature of taking two conflicting platforms and trying to mesh them together. And so David's like, you have to use the right equipment, but have the right type of software to do it. So for me, I'm running vMix. I'm actually running vMix right now, and then I'm outsourcing it to web presenter that's connected to Skype, and then that Skype's connected to OBS, and that's what you guys are seeing on the stream right now.
Oh, interesting.
But for me, when I interview you guys, and I know that there's a little disconnect sometimes between showing my camera face and you guys, and it's the positioning of it. But when I bring you in, people are going to think we're in the same studio. Like
Nice.
Literally, like they'll notice the difference, but the latency's not there. And 2, when you're remoting in, we're using your settings that you actually have either on your webcam or whatever you have set up in your neck of the woods. It's going to be running into my system, and we can switch and have everything go. And I can have up to 8 people that I bring on remotely at any time and do it at a level. Now, that's what I want, and that works for me. It costs a lot of money. I'll give you that. It costs a lot of money, but this is a business, and I realize that it's a business expense, and that's the cost of doing business. But like if you're starting out, OBS is perfect. Like it doesn't cost you anything. Right. Personally, for me, I love Streamlabs a lot better than just OBS. I think Streamlabs is just one of the best companies out there for streaming. And there's so much that you can do with that. And I think, my thing that I to this day that I'm really just banging my head against the wall is no one's thinking streaming first. You might have a few people out there, but it's like we have, like right now, when someone gives you money, we have the ability to do an if then that scenario. You can type in where you have automation that actually occurs, but no one's really bringing dynamic elements into YouTube. And there's like a huge opportunity. So what do you have to do? You got to use Streamlabs or something else that you're pulling through to do a lot of the things to trigger. There's a huge open market. So if anyone that's geeky in this neighborhood, you could have $100 million company if you do it right, of providing a service that's out there that's really able to tap in to the APIs to provide better streaming experiences to the masses. And I think that's what we're going to see in the next few years is more companies coming on and converging into this space, because I can guarantee you this. Gaming and live streaming is not going away. It's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And when that happens, more and more people will want to do it. And also, just to put it into perspective too, live streaming is just becoming a way of communicating now. Stuff like even with Marco Polo, instead of leaving a text, people are actually leaving a video and sending it off. Like video is like so engaged now, and these live streams. So it's just like, it's taking it to a level, and you want to be on the forefront of it. You want to be able to have it a part of it. You might need to figure it out, but it's having the right type of equipment to achieve the goals that you're actually looking for. So to have David come over to Thailand would be very well worth it. But he has a specific type of cameras and stuff that he uses. It's like he would have. I wanted my audio like I'm very concerned with audio all the time. Yeah. And I go, David, I got to have my audio sound like me. And I used a lapel mic before, and I'd actually have like the silicone thing that I'd stick to my chest that you wouldn't see, but it would like be through the shirt, and it wouldn't muffle around, but you could hear my actual voice, what I actually sound like in real life, you know, and it wasn't like just off a little bit or just didn't scratch or whatever. And he's like, dude, you gotta get that mic. Let me show you. And I don't have it set up on this one right here, but let me move here. Let me move here. Let me see if I can get it. But the mic setup, and I do it on my mobile phone. But my mic setup is pretty epic in the sense that this is the slowest version. Let me go faster.
Yeah, this is some great behind the scenes stuff right here.
Yeah, I'm fascinated.
But you can see my mic right here, and it's right where I'm at. And then I have another one, like when just where oh, wrong way. But that's my camera that we're talking about right there. And then I have a confidence monitor. You can see what's going on. There's my system. And then it doesn't let me go all the way down, but you'll see a huge server there that runs the stuff. But anyway, let me come back up here.
I love looking behind the scenes here. Yeah, this is great.
Gold.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
So you can see my other mic setup, because like I didn't want to use. I didn't like. No offense, but I don't like the podcast look.
Yeah.
I don't like my. I mean, I have it. I mean, I have. Let me switch to. I'm sorry.
So if you're just joining us, what we're doing right now is we are looking behind the scenes of Derral Eves' live streaming setup. So of course we're doing, channel tips and things like that. We're answering YouTube questions, but we are right now, we're taking a peek behind the scenes on Derral Eves' live stream show. He's showing us the equipment he uses, how everything is set up, just so we can get some insight into what is going on here into a setup like that. And it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I agree, Derral. Like with your particular setup right there, the way you have it, if you had that mic coming out, that podcast style mic,
totally take away from
that doesn't work with your set.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you definitely made the right call there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work with my personality either. Like it's in my way. And when I feel like I'm like, if it's just right there, I'm not myself. Like I know it. I know it seems really weird, but these little things make the difference of how you can come out. What I like to use my hands, and I'd be bumping that stupid, mic all the time, or I'd have to kind of like this or whatever. But I communicate with my hands just as much as I do, verbally. But it is cool, and it's like, having systems set up. Let me show you here. So I even have I'm all hitting the wrong ones here, but let me show you here. So I mean, I have other studios. There's another Loot Llama, but it's just like I have, and I can't even hit. That was a bad camera view, but we have all these different cameras at different places and stuff like that. So
awesome.
I'm just on the wrong setting. Like I have settings that I like load into it. This is like a Skype interview one that we're able to do it, but I only use 2 cameras on this one. But.
Well, yeah.
Nice.
So you just saw behind the scenes at Derral Eves' studio, and it's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And thank you, Derral, because now I know where everything is. So when I come there, I know what I'm taking. I'm going to grab the Darth Vader there behind you.
There's some truth to that.
So I've got a question for you, Derral. A couple things have come in here from the chat. The first question, this is something that you first introduced at last year's Vid Summit, actually, that you first started spreading awareness about this from the things that you had found. But Soothing Music asks, they say, great stuff, guys. Question, how can I use channel clusters? Are collaboration playlists a big deal as far as growing?
Okay, so let me kind of dig into, I think the way that I presented at Vid Summit is not necessarily how I would present it now. Like everything on YouTube's about the video. And if there's similar content of videos on similar channels, that's where the clustering is, that effect. I think certain people are like, oh, I need to be in this cluster. Well, no, that's not what it is. What it is like related content that is consistent. And then two, that we have, subscriber crossover and viewer crossover. So that's kind of where that all pulls together. What was the question again? I just wanted to make sure I clarified that so that people understood what I mean by that.
Yeah, they wanted to know how they can use channel clusters, and then they followed that with our collaboration playlists a big deal as far as growing. So I think I think the idea here is basically like they're wanting to know how they can use the clusters, and then from what I'm taking from this, and correct me, Soothing Music, if I'm wrong, but they're saying basically our collaboration playlist a big deal for growing. I think they might be thinking that, hey, in order to make this happen, I need to be using the collaboration playlist possibly.
Right. Let me just go to a channel, and I'll just kind of explain it through visually so that it's just better.
Okay.
All right, so here is Matthias's channel, real quick. Love these guys. They're just some of the most smartest, most brilliant, kind-hearted people. People that you could ever meet. But anyway, so it's really important to understand what we're talking about here. So if you look through here, you have uploads, you have Dope or Nope, then you have strange things on Amazon, tech gadgets. So that's kind of his. And this, what to learn from this is like that is what his content is every one of the times. It will fit in one of those verticals. And far too many content creators they try to do too much, and their audience says, "Oh, I'm disconnected with that," so they skip a video or two, and that sends some negative signals back that says, "Oh, don't serve them as much videos." And so if you're more laser specific on what you're actually doing and the type of content you're creating, the better that it is. And with this, you can see that. But now I want you to look at the related channels here. Okay. So here you had Dope or Nope, and then you have Battle Universe, Get Good Gaming, you have Wrecked, you have Fall Time, Team Edge, and then you have Amanda, and then you have Matthias's channel.
So
these are all
Derral,
channels
real quick,
that they own.
Real quick, I'm seeing the left side of your screen and not the right side of the screen. So I'm not sure if it's like zoomed in or what's going on. D, is that on our end or is that on his end?
Let me see here.
Yeah, it's not on mine.
Okay, give us 1 second here.
Yeah, not a problem.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, because the signal that I'm sending to you,
no, it's on us.
I can see.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's on us. It's
Sorry
on us.
about
Yeah,
that.
he just
something went screwball here.
Were you saying that I screwed up, or you screwed up?
Yeah, it was us. It was us.
It was me.
All on us. Yeah.
That was me. All me.
Yeah, we're all about ownership here.
Yeah, I own it, man.
Yeah. So
Yep.
All
All
right.
right.
On D.
So
but that's what I'm saying is you can see the verticals that are doing, and then you can see all the channels that's there. So I want to just show you the clustering that we're talking about. Okay. So you have products that's used virtually, and you can see, they get a ton of views, right? But the key would be is, let's take Team Edge, for example. So this other one has 4.7 million. And when you watch a video, it doesn't matter which video you watch, you want to see what comes up, right? That's actually pretty creative. Let me close down. Well, we'll just go down here. But you can see what actually comes up, right? So you can see things that we're connected to and things that is going. But because of Team Edge, you can see now that just because of the other one, I get a Dope or Nope. It's being suggested along with Team Edge, right? And you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense that they would be interconnected. And it depends on where it's at. So I get another one, Get Good Gaming, and there it is you have another one of their channels that they have that is being suggested based off of that one. Here's another one, Battle Universe. So these are all channels, videos of the channels that they actually own. And as you get deeper into it, let me just go back to this one. Let's do Battle Universe. So it's one of their newer ones. So 2.6 million. But as you go into any of them, let me go to this one right here. you're able to see all the other things that are being suggested from it, and then the more that you can see it, Battle Universe, it's pulling in some other like Collins Keys, Lizzie Scher, Lizzie's coming to the Vid Summit.
Nice.
But you're able to see what it's recommending from their dope or nope right there. So you're able to see right there that it's starting to suggest more, and the more in depth the channel is, so like it's like, can we have viewer crossover, and can we get subscriber crossover? That's where the clustering is. It's basically saying, look, all these videos have these viewer audience parameters or demographics that are similar or the same. So let's go naturally suggest it to those viewers to watch those other channels. And so basically it's just, hey, if I release this video, then this video actually gets promoted. But what I love about what they're doing is they're super, super smart. And you can look at, I'm going to show you a strategy here, but look how they start promoting it. So Battle Universe, but you have High Five Studios, which is another channel that they own. And it's in their community feed pushing traffic to that video. And then you have Fall Time pushing traffic to that other channel.
So what they're doing is they're forcing audience, right?
They're basically creating data points for the AI to say, oh, this is similar content, similar audience, so let's start suggesting it together.
Nice.
So it lifts each other up. I mean, that's what we're talking here.
Fantastic.
And I can guarantee you this strategy right here was taught at the Vid Summit.
Absolutely it was. I watched it in real time as it went down. The second part of that question that he wanted to know was the collaboration playlist. What are your thoughts on collaboration playlists?
Listen, there are people like saying, hey, I'm going to go ahead and put all these popular videos in my playlist, and then I'm going to go from there. And they think that they're going to take off, But if it is a true collaboration, if it's someone that is collaborating with you, then absolutely make a collaboration playlist. And what I would do is take it a step further, deepen the relationship. They already are in a collaboration video with you. So instead of promoting your videos, promote their videos.
Nice.
And that means your description needs to change, promoting their content. That means your end screen should change to promote their channel and their videos. Nice. And if they do the same for you, that's great. And then let's take it even deeper, where once you cross a certain threshold, I think it's still 10,000. It might be 1,000 now. Basically, you can give the creator credits that they're actually collaborators, so that when you click on a video, it actually creates an index, a hyperlink, where you can click on it and it will go to that specific creator's channel, and that's creating that creator credits is what it's called, and that's ultimately getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And so adding another playlist with those collaborators, absolutely. And what I would do is I would create the video that you just collaborated with, or have their video be in your playlist. But it's like literally their video in your playlist, but you're shooting it to them. Then you guys are both getting some credit. I mean, the credit more is to them because of the watch time and the view and the engagement, but you get a view on your playlist, and you do get engagement on your playlist, which is key.
Nice.
Man, that is fascinating stuff.
Fantastic. So the next question that we've got here is from Aston Regis, the flip side. They say, hey, NIMMINATI, Derral, what's a good playlist content strategy for a channel focused on martial arts in the movies? Would love to hear your thoughts. So a playlist content strategy for a channel focused on martial arts in the movies.
Like you got to get I'm sorry, but I can give you generalities if you give me generalities. And so I understand that you gave me from your perspective, a very specific thing, but is the martial arts, you're mimicking it? Like, I don't even know what you're doing.
Yeah, I think what I'm pretty sure what he's doing is he's basically like covering like the fight scenes in movies. So he's talking about the fight scenes, like as an example in like Black Panther. Like he's talking about like the fight scenes in Black Panther, like the martial arts behind the fight scenes in Black Panther.
Okay.
As an example of one of his videos.
And breaking it down so it's more like not a reaction video, but more of a technical video where things are paused and then he explains some things and kind of
that would be my
take.
It is? Yeah, that's what it looks like here from the outside. Yes.
Okay. Content's content, and your playlist is a piece of content. Like I promote playlists a lot. Like if you're putting out weekly content, you should do 2 playlists a week that you're creating new. You know, and like there's strategies. Like I was on with a client a couple days ago, just going over a playlist strategy for them, and they're like, oh, we'll be releasing this content. I said, well, let's start creating a playlist now and re-engaging that older content. And so we made a very specific playlist that's going to be where that content resides. And that's something you can do, and you can do it by terminology. You could break it down by actors. You could actually break it down by disciplines. So if it's like different types of martial arts. Like I just don't know. Like what I don't know is who's watching your videos and what they're actually interested in. I know that there's a huge genre of people watching, martial arts videos, but they might watch it for different things, And so I think you can break it down. So the strategy would be more playlists would be great. And then knowing what playlists that you actually pull together to make it so that it's digestible by a viewer. And so what you got to think viewer experience first and say, okay, this viewer, if they're going to watch it, what are they going to get by the time they get to the end of the playlist? Is there 50 videos in it? Then no, that's not a good playlist strategy. Is there 5 videos in it? That possibly can be. How long are the videos? What type of things that are done? So if it's like, all proven Bruce Lee, fight moves. I'm just pulling stuff out of the air,
Sure.
But it's just like maybe you put 3 videos where you focus in on it. The where I would do it, and this is content driven, I would actually say, can we make a series of videos that's coming out soon that it would naturally belong in a playlist? That's the types of playlists that I would be creating if it was me.
Nice. So that you're generating like those binge sessions. So it's like, hey, I just watched this one. I got to watch this one because it makes sense because I just watched that other one instead of grouping together content. Yeah, it makes total sense. Love it. Man. Love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, all types of good stuff coming out of the stream today. We've got Vid Summit tickets being given away. We've got like Power Ninja super tips that are coming out. We've got Derral rocking a NIMMINATI shirt. This is amazing.
Yeah, I just want to say that, usually you guys who come in here every weekend, I'm usually a lot more vocal than this, but I'm like over here quiet. I'm like taking notes.
Yeah.
I'm like class is in session.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Class is in session. The professor is standing at the front of the classroom, and I am just taking notes over here.
Yeah, and what's cool is back on Vid Summit again, real quick, is that's a cool thing about going to the Vid Summit is like I sit here every Saturday. Right. And I'm like, just kind of, I'm throwing all this like information out there. But like when I go to Vid Summit, like I'm not saying a word.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like unless somebody comes up to me and they specifically, hey Nick, what do you think about this? Like otherwise, like when I'm standing around and I'm like if I'm standing around and I'm listening to people that are doing stuff talk, like I'm not saying nothing. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit here and absorb what's coming out here and just kind of see what's going on. So unless somebody's like specifically asking for something, like I just want to like absorb.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm doing here.
Well, and that's the key. Like going to it, like I can't tell you how many people out there, and this is one of the things that irritates me just a little bit. Is they want to tell me what they're doing, but they don't want to listen to what I'm telling them to do better. And that's one of the keys of an event is really listening to what's being said, not trying to say, hey, I got 10,000 subscribers and I want to go here and I'm trying to do this. At the end of the day, it's like, hey, so what did you think about this? Or you have an idea and you just listen to what they're saying. You're not trying to be the hot shot or anything, and just really hot shot. That's an old word. That's really weird. A hot shot. Derral, you're being a hot shot. Okay, but it's just like, listen to people, listen to what they're saying, listen to their story. I know when I get mobbed at whatever event, I like to give advice because they're coming to talk to me and they want specific questions being answered. So I will listen to them and I'll respond. And I'm a little bit more talking because that's what they want. Now, if you're gonna go, and I love this one, but there's a guy. I got to share this experience because it's just like literally the whole essence of what I truly believe. But we were at this private YouTube event where they had the biggest YouTubers there. They had their employees and everybody that was like just huge. And I was coming up to a conversation, and there was a guy that looked Oriental, the Asian, you couldn't tell what nationality or where he came from in that part of Asia. And he was talking to a couple girl YouTubers there, and he's like, "Who's this creepy guy?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like this you don't even like." First off, I'm offended that you're treating him that way, because he thought that he was a creepy stalker guy, and all he wanted to do is just be a part of a conversation. And come to find out, no one knew except for about 4 people there, me being one of them, and his partner manager, the other one. But this is the first event that he actually went to, and I love this guy to death. And I turned to him and I said, "I apologize, like for what people." I go, "If people knew who you were," and this is before he got on camera, I said, "if people knew who you were, they'd totally change their story." And he says, "Maybe it's time that I tell them who I am." And I says, "I don't know." And so the next thing came up, and that conversation is this creepy, creepy Asian dude. And I had enough. I said, "Sean, is it okay?" And he says, "Yeah." And I went to him and says, "Hey guys, I just want to let you know that everyone in this room right now, everyone in this room has how many subscribers and viewers?" And they says, "Oh, we got all this other stuff." I says, "This guy right here does more views than everybody else in this room." And they're like, "What?" I go, "Yeah, this is Ryan's toy review."
Ah, nice.
And they're like, "Oh my gosh," and then he became the most popular person in the whole room. And I'm just shaking my head. Yeah. It's like the thing for me is, and the reason why I was able to talk Sean is because his wife reached out to me and she's like, "Maybe I think about quitting my day job." I'm like, "What's your day job?" "I'm a teacher." And I'm like, "Well, what's your channel?" And they showed me the channel. I'm like, "Quit your day job right now." Just the whole thing, it was like, so I met him before. They're just the nicest people, the humble people. But the thing that they didn't know is he's one of the smartest people in the history of YouTube. And if you just think it's because he has a cute kid, that's Asian, you're wrong. Like strategy driven 100% of the time. He's like strategy first. And it has always been that way. And what makes it better is his kid's a YouTuber. He loves it. He eats, drinks, and sleeps YouTube. Like that's one thing that I can say that happens. But the point that I'm making at this is like people wouldn't have wanted to listen to him at all because they thought that he's a nobody, right? But when they found out who he is, then that made it different. Now, the thing for me is I was taught that everyone has value.
Sure.
There's some people that I like to disconnect, that they're just haters and they like to be negative and they like to point fingers. And I don't want to be surrounded by them. So I disconnect my friends. It's not that I don't, love and appreciate, them as a, child of God, but I'm like, I don't need to belong with them. But what I want is when you, Nick, and myself can walk up to someone, have a conversation, and they don't say, "Well, how many subscribers you have? Because I got this. You can't talk to me, or I won't collab with you because of this." It's like, no, dude. It's like I have something to offer, and you have something to offer. I want people to say, "Look, I can find value in talking to you. I can find value in sharing strategies with you, and vice versa." And that's the culture of Vid Summit. And I love it. I love it to death because, it doesn't matter who you are. You literally will walk away with people's contact information and connections on a deeper level than any other conference, because there's no fans that make, like, seriously, there's no fans that make the conference weird.
Yeah.
Because as soon as the fans come in, guess what happens? People have to perform.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the guard goes up too. You know, like when there's that thing like that, instantly 100%. That guard goes up. But when that's not there, yeah, I didn't even think about that in terms of like, because for me, right, like when I went to Vid Summit last year, I was thinking, like I was blown away just in terms of like exactly what you're talking about in terms of how open and accessible everyone was. I was just blown away by that. So. Like I never really put that connection together in terms of, you know, it's because of that whole protective thing in terms of like, well, I've got all these people that are like being weird to me because I have a lot of subscribers on my channel. Like that whole thing doesn't happen there because of that. You know, I never even made that connection in my brain until just now.
And it's really important because that's what I want. So that's the culture that I created, right? And one of the things that's really important. So Dee mentioned that, oh man, you're like a fanboy of Peter McKinnon. I'm here to tell you when you meet Pete, and
he calls
sit
him
down
Pete.
with Pete.
Derral calls him Pete.
It's like you know what I'm saying? But you're gonna sit down with him and you're gonna meet him, and he's gonna be like, dude, are you crushing it? You know, what are you doing? Like he will literally ask you what you're doing, and you know, how you respond to that will basically be getting information from him or not, or just chilling. And I'm here to tell you that people like Pete and Casey and that group of creator, they're making things happen because they're passionate about it and they want to surround themselves by passionate people. And they'll treat you. I can guarantee you Pete would never treat you like, oh, you don't have enough subscribers, you can't talk to me. I mean, he did a collab video with Cody. And Cody only had a couple thousand subscribers. Now I don't even know where it's
no
at.
small creators.
That's right.
Hashtag no small creators. Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. But that's what I'm getting at is that's the people that I want to be surrounded by, you know. And poor Gary, like everyone wants to tell Gary their super idea or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like what you didn't know, and it's not that we didn't want to do this for everyone, but you saw the mob after he got done with the presentation.
Yeah.
It was just. And, you know, and talking with Gary, it's like we wanted people to have personal attention. And we invited a few people that we thought they needed that introduction to Gary. And there was a private room back there, and Gary shot collab videos at Vid Summit. And just talking with them and just getting to know their story. And what I loved about it was there was a couple people that, you know, they're just like, man, you know, they didn't know who Gary Vee was first going into it, but they were literally inspired. And I introduced them to Gary and a couple of the things that he said to do for their business, just by knowing just the business, was able to transform it in a way where they're making 30 times